Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and we've got a reaction to game against the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Reaction to a coach resigning, and a reaction to a huge trade deadline deal done by the Raptors just before midnight last night. So lots to cover today. It's a reaction day. Lots of reacting. All kinds of reacting. So the Raptors lost their game last night worse than the game on Boxing Day. Technically, they did, guys. They lost by 31 last night. They lost by 29 on Boxing Day when the Grizzlies scored 155 points on us, the most ever scored on us in franchise history. I didn't want to bring that up yesterday because I didn't want it to be relevant today, but it is because we managed to lose technically by a bigger deficit last night than the first game. But the crazy thing is the Raptors played a great first half, and they really held it well with the Grizzlies. Now, I'm going to say this. In the second half, Darko's rotations were very different than the first half, and they were very young, and they were very, youthful and experienced, and also on the other side, small, not able to rebound. And there were huge parts of the second half where we just couldn't rebound with the Grizzlies, with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey, and we got ate up. We got ate up. But that by design? Like, seriously, he chose to go small and to play all rookies, and Grady Dick. Darko did. So I think that this was a Masai development call and saying, I thought we could actually beat the Grizzlies at halftime because we were playing them so good. We had leaded in the first half, and we were doing really, really good. And there were certain things happening in the game where the Grizzlies were not playing well. It wasn't like in Boxing Day where they just came out and shot the lights out for all four quarters and managed to get 155 points. No, they struggled in the first half, and we were running with them. And it's, for me, that's what I'm gauging right now with this rebuilding Raptors team is, can we run with the big dogs? Can we hang with teams like Memphis, like New York, like the Thunder? Can we do it? And that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. And when we see it against it, it's very intriguing. It's very interesting. Last night was 90s night at the Air Canada Center. There you go. It's the 90s. It's Air Canada Center. And Kelly Olynyk started last night. Kelly Olynyk is a kid who was born in Toronto. Kelly Olynyk is a kid that was a Raptors fan in the 90s. So how apropos that on a 90s night, Kelly Olynyk would get to have a full circle moment of playing in a jersey that he watched as a child, in an arena that he went to games in as a child, for a team that he had as his favorite team growing up as a child on 90s night, and get to be out there. It had to be a little surreal, a little bit weird in some ways. I know if RJ had been able to play, it wouldn't have hit as the same because Kelly's older. Kelly's older. He can remember the 90s. In fact, I was wondering about how the Raptors, the only guys who can remember the 90s on the Raptors are Garrett Temple and Kelly Olynyk, really. Jakob, maybe. He's 29. Chris might have remembered the 90s a little bit. He could probably remember the 90s. But a lot of these guys on our team don't remember no 90s. They weren't even born in the 90s. So how the hell? And it's crazy, man. So last night was the last night that Kelly Olynyk played for the Raptors because he got traded last night. He got traded about 15 minutes before midnight last night for Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is now a Raptor. The trade rumors, the smoke that we saw in the last 2 weeks was real. There was a fire there. And I really think that a lot of that has to do with moving Bruce Brown mostly. I think that this is a very interesting trade. We're going to parse it out. I know you guys have comments and questions, and we will go in deep on this. I've really thought about this a lot. Last night I was still up when it happened, so I thought about last night, and I got to sleep on it and think about it more this morning. So, yeah, we're going to talk about this Brandon Ingram trade and the how it's going to shake up with the Raptors. We're going to talk about Coach Jordy resigning yesterday. It's sad. I want to thank you, Coach Jordy Fernandez, for resigning at a proper time, a time where we can handle things Team Canada wise to fill your vacancy in a way that's comfortable for our program and not a shakeup. It's very respectful. It's very kind, not like your predecessor. I love you, Jordy. You brought such great success to Team Canada at FIBA World Cup, and we did very well at the Olympics in the early round, but it was tough in the knockout round. Jordy, you're in some ways already a Canadian basketball legend because of you're the one who turned it on after Nick Nurse took off and got us the first real successes on the international stage in a long time for Canada. In fact, you may be the first predecessor to a golden age of Canadian basketball that's coming right now, and you'll be the first chapter in some ways of this era of modern Canadian excellence in basketball. So, Jordy, man, I appreciate you. I know why you quit. I know why you resigned is because the job of the Nets is difficult and it's weighing you down. I know because that job is probably crazier than you thought it was. Your first full year as an NBA head coach, the Brooklyn Nets has probably been full of a lot of work, stress. You may feel like you need to rest already. And the idea of having to do Team Canada stuff in the summers may be too much. I understand that. There's all kinds of reasons why Jordy could have resigned. He's respectfully said he won't comment on it until Team Canada, Michael Bartlett, and Rowan Barrett Sr. officially announce that he is resigned. But yeah, he's resigned as of yesterday, and Team Canada will be looking for a brand new men's head basketball coach for their senior men's team. You know, the last two hires were exemplary, so I have no doubt that Michael Bartlett and Rowan Barrett Sr. will hire an absolutely fantastic coach to coach Canada. And the reason why is this got talent. The team's got talent. And the team's fun to coach, to be honest. And it's on the rise. So it's a job that's actually very attractive to the coaching world, and I don't think we'll have any problem filling it in. It's just we got to make the right choice, a strategic choice, Team Canada, and make it one that's somebody who hopefully could make a lasting commitment for a long time. I know sometimes these things are just 4-year windows that you jump in and jump out of. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe we can figure it out. The right spot of a coach that is like maybe it's not an NBA coach. I mean, it'd be great if we could get an NBA coach to come and coach the team again. We're at that level the last two. Don't hire Darko. I'm going to say that right now. We've learned a lesson with Nick Nurse that the Team Canada head coach should not be the Raptors head coach. And that sharing that job is just kind of could be a problem. That's it kind of burned Team Canada partly in a way when that happens. So I would not that I'm worried about Darko. Hang on a sec. Not that I'm worried about Darko leaving. It's more that this problem could be avoided if we just don't do it, right? Anyway, let me do this and I'll come back and I'm going to go right into the comments and we'll do the full reaction stream. I'm just going to fix this real quick. All right. Sorry about that. It's cold out here and the tape's not holding. All right, let's see. Trevor J, first in. Once again, Commissioner Fund, Trevor J, good morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Someday you will really be grateful that God gave you what you needed instead of what you thought you wanted. This is an interesting comment. Some of this has to do with faith. It's all how you want to look at it. I'll knock a couple of steps out. Trust your life's path. That in some ways your God and your creator lays out a life for you in some ways, and things happen for a certain reason. You may not know at that moment, but in that moment, instead of getting all consternation and, oh my gosh, why is it happening? Just trust your path that, things are going to work out and, things are looking out for you. So yeah, it's a weird thing. You may have things that happen in your life that don't go right. And you later on, you're like, man, if this had just happened, this happened, but don't question that or regret that. It is what it is. Your life's path is supposed to be accepted as it's what is supposed to be. I could have all kinds of crazy thoughts about, my divorce and, different things like that. But I accept every single morning that my path is exactly what it's supposed to be. And that was what was intended by either my creator or God. So there you go. Thank you, Trevor J, for that. It's a really easy way to stop having a lot of unnecessary kind of misery and stress when you allow life to be on life's term on and that you trust your higher power to be looking out for you. How about that? There you go. Trevor J saying Bruce Brown is gone should make everyone happy now. Just hope he does not ask back for his cowboy boots. No, I think because he has that endorsement deal with that cowboy boot company, that they want him to spread the Cowboys boots all over the place, spread the word, and make business better. So no, I'm pretty sure he's not collecting the boots on the way out of the locker room, which is kind of a funny little idea and image for like maybe a Saturday Night Live sketch or SCTV. Here's Bruce leaving. Here, give me the boots, all rich. Give me the boots. Dang it. He's like, I don't have them anymore. Yeah, I don't know. This is something like, look, I don't have any emotion about Bruce leaving. I do about Kelly, though. I've said on this channel the last couple of weeks that Kelly wouldn't get traded because it's been said that he wants to retire Raptor. Well, he did. He said that. But this is the way this business is. It's not about what you want, Dennis Schroeder. It's not about this dream, Kelly. Unfortunately, you will play for a seventh team if you do show up and play for them, New Orleans Pelicans, a team you have not been on yet. Ah, man, 1 year of Kelly's been awesome, though. I'm going to tell you right now, Kelly on our team for a year seems like he was on our team for longer. And in some ways, I like that. I like that. I want to have Kelly be one of these 1 year legends, like Lou Williams, like Bismack Biyombo, like Kawhi Leonard. A guy who just played the Raptors 1 year, but he's just family. Well, the Canadian ties and being a hometown hero and the hometown dream of playing for your hometown team it was realized. And that's a beautiful thing, man. His parents got to come down from Scarborough and watch him play in the Raptors jersey, a team that his mother worked for, a team that his dad rooted for a lot of his life. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. In some ways, this Kelly thing isn't sad. Kelly knows the drill. He's been around the league so long. It's like if anybody's going to get traded, he's one who can handle it. That's for sure. The other reason why I'm kind of happy it's him is because it's not Chris. It's not Chris. Obviously, this deal was being finagled and worked out, and I'm sure Boucher's name was in there instead of Kelly's at different times. Chris looked weird on the game last night. He did not play again, which was weird. But it was because this is the thing. He showed up before the game yesterday in the afternoon, and he had not been around the team because he had been sick, guys. He had been quarantined away from them. And he showed up for the first time before the game, and he didn't really have any practices in the last few days. So Darko didn't play Chris last night for conditioning reasons, from him coming back from being sick. Now he's sitting at the end of the bench with Jakob. Jakob's in his black hoodie, and he's laying back like this, and he's like, his body language, I was trying to read it, and I'm like, man, Chris is acting weird. He does have a weird expression on his face. There was a lot of that for me last night. In the beginning of the game, before the game, when the guys are in the tunnel, they do a prayer, and they all group up, and they all hold each other in prayer before a game, and then run out the tunnel. You can see this on League Pass. Well, Bruce, before they did the prayer, was in the back going like this, hitting the golf clubs. And I was like, what's going on here? It was like a secret message he was trying to tell us. It was like a hostage blinking out SOS. It was like, golf. I'm going to play golf, guys, because I know I'm probably going to get traded tonight. Yeah, he did this like 3 times in the morning before the game started. He was in the back, and Scotty and them are all huddling up behind him, and like they're like, "Hey, Bruce, get over here." He's like, "Oh, I'm just practicing my golf shot because I might be golfing very soon down in Louisiana." I mean, it is what it is. We expected Bruce to get traded. It was the longest pause in turning around a trade guy I've seen in a while. It's 1 year of having Bruce on our team. In some ways, that seemed long too, Bruce on our team. Can we look at Bruce and think about what he contributed to Raptors history and who he is and still be positive and feel good about him? I will. I was hard on him, but you know what? He was a good pro the whole time, and he did things right. And in some ways, I respect him. I respect Bruce Brown. And, he may not have contributed at a level that was worth his contract. He may not have been, totally thing, but he loved his team. He loved playing for us. You could tell. And he liked being around our guys. And I think he really did enjoy being a Raptor, guys. So I'm gonna respect Bruce going forward. He's not a butt of a joke for me. He's a real NBA pro who came to Toronto in a trade, and it was weird, but he did make the best of it, and he did things right. He could have stepped in PR ways left and right in the last year. Think about it, guys. In interviews, talking about things. Now he could do it now. He could say some things post Toronto that could be a problem, but I don't think he will because I think it's a genuine, real thing. Seriously. Trevor's saying SGA dropped another 50 points game last night. No one can stop him right now. Well, we're going to see him on Friday and give it a chance to try. I mean, John Morant and then SGA right in a row. Boom, goes the dynamite. This is crazy. Yeah, tomorrow night we'll be in Oklahoma City. The Raptors will try not to lose 3 in a row. We'll have to see. It's going to be a tough task. The Thunder are very good, just like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are very good. I'm very proud of Zach Edey. I can't wait to see him play for Team Canada. On a weird night where RJ Barrett was not available due to concussion protocol, Kelly Olynyk played his last game as a Raptor, and Zach Edey played his first game in Toronto as an NBA player. Wow, what a weird night. And Jordy Fernandez resigned as the coach of Team Canada, all on the same day. It's a really influx kind of thing for Team Canada yesterday. Kelly getting traded away from RJ, and, Zach showing up and saying, hi, I'm in the NBA now. I'm Batman. And then Jordy resigning. Wow, what a weird day. It's that's why I'm wearing the Team Canada shirt, because I want to show pride for Team Canada and in this flux situation of upheaval, of change. That's right. Yeah, SGA is amazing. We'll see him too. A great Canadian on Team Canada. Yeah, we'll see him on Friday. Trevor's saying, how y'all bound Ingram being a Raptor? I think the Raptors front court got bigger. Ingram can shoot. He's got a pretty good middle range shot. Yeah. No, Brandon Ingram can score. He's a player I've always liked. I liked him not when he was on the Lakers, but I liked him in other places where he just kind of is a knack for making points, going the basket. His transitory career of bouncing around is a little bit of a red flag. That is something that people are saying. They're analyzing the trade now, and we did trade 2 picks with it too. That does say something to the level of Brandon Ingram. We did trade 2 picks. So, man, you know what? If he's healthy, he could be something. But there are some issues. I don't know. We're going to have to see how this goes. I can see why we did this. In some ways, it's weird because I've called this the reverse Rudy Gay trade, possibly, because of that issue is what I'd be worried about, the reverse Rudy Gay effect of having all of a sudden Rudy Gay on the team that's taken away from the development of RJ Barrett / DeMar DeRozan. That's my biggest concern about this, because there is stats out there that's showing that the percentage of shots and shot taking for the guys who are on our team now go over 100%. That is like, RJ, Emmanuel, Scotty, Brandon are all going to have slices of the pie. And how do you figure out those slices of the pie with Brandon Ingram on the team all of a sudden? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. It'll be very interesting. It'll be fun to see Darko coach Brandon and the ideas. I want to see how quickly Brandon can get healthy. I want to see, what he looks like out there in certain ways. It could very well be that Brandon, in some ways, is like used on opposite nights with people. Like the way they're using Davion right now. Think about how Davion's being used right now. Now, it could very well be that some of our other players are going to have to be used by like Davion on and off nights, because of the glut of very good talent. I don't know. I just got to see how he fits with RJ. In some ways, that's the thing that was my problem with him coming here, in the last 2 weeks. It's a big move. This guy is an all-star. This guy is a big-time scorer. This guy has stats for years, but he's been injury prone. He's been unavailable at times. He's seemed despondent and aloof, but he has also publicly said that he wants to play for Toronto. He said that was part of the whole thing that started all this rumor mill. is that Brandon Ingram publicly said, I think I'd like to play for Toronto. Well, you are now. You're going to be on Toronto, so come through with that. This is kind of on the scale of the Kawhi kind of shit, like the Kawhi deal. This is kind of like Masai's finishing move in a way, but it's the timing of it is weird. It's like I said in the last 2 weeks, this is a move that Masai will make, but it's usually to like signify that he's like trying to close in on the championship with the Kawhi deal. Like the Kawhi for DeMar deal is that kind of move. It's a similar kind of scale of that kind of thing because Kawhi was a disgruntled superstar on another team that they needed to get him out of there. Well, this is a similar situation. Brandon Ingram is a high-level talent that is in a bad situation, and the Raptors can't sign people in free agency. Well, you go get a huge talent like this in a situation like the Pelicans had with Ingram. And that's the opportunist of Masai Ujiri doing this. Now, the talent upgrade, how will it fit with everything? I'm not totally sure. We're going to have to see how this is. But you know what? Having an abundance of talent on your team means you may be doing another trade to make moves smooth out to make the roster better. But not now. The trade deadline is at 3 today. So they could turn around and do a little bit more trading still today. It's not over yet, guys. But it's not likely they'll do it now. I don't think they will. And the other question is about Brandon Ingram's contract coming up and what he would decide this summer. Yeah, this is something you got to think about. Well, we got the bird rights in this deal. Honestly, we did. That was part of the whole sweetening it with the picks and other things was that we get bird rights coming back with Ingram. So that's a key thing right there, guys. That's a key thing with the bird rights. Yeah. I think I like Ingram. I've never had a thing where I was said I don't want to ever have Brandon Ingram on my team. I've never had that. I've actually said I'd love Brandon Ingram on the Raptors in the last 5 years. But this is such weird timing. In some ways, the way to read this deal also is that we're done with the rebuild, guys. There we go. Raptors rebuilt a half a year. That we're advanced class. We're the AP class in the high school of the NBA. That's right. Our students learn faster. They're like Malcolm on Malcolm in the Middle. These people are very good. Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo, Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick. These are advanced students. And that obviously, if they're going to play against Memphis like they did last night and do what they do, Masai and Bobby want to fast track the rebuild, and we're going to go faster with more talent now with Brandon on the team, which means we can probably win faster too. I don't know. Maybe Ingram's not going to play as much for the rest of the season. Maybe we're going to have struggles for the rest of the season, although we're going to win a lot still too because bad teams are coming up. Hopefully we'll win those games unless we see some weird stuff with injury list and stuff like that. I don't know. This is a signal that the Raptors are jumping out of like rebuild mode that we got Ingram yesterday. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's what I'm seeing right here. That's what I'm seeing. That's right. Nameless is saying just an absolute fantastic steal for the Raptors. For spare parts and some filler, Bobby does it again. Ingram is chomping at the bit to work with the mythical Dr. McKechnie. Yeah, I mean, this is another parallel you could make with Kawhi. That the relationship between Dr. Alex McKechnie, Executive Vice President of Health for the Raptors, is going to be a glorious relationship, just like the Claw and Dr. Yeah, I could see this. B.I. actually, I think, did say this. I think he did say something outwardly to the press about wanting to have Dr. McKechnie work with him with his injuries. That he thinks that that's a marriage made in heaven. If we can miraculously fix Brandon Ingram to the point where he's not having injury-prone problems just because of our excellent Dr. Alex, that'd be fantastic. I mean, there is a reason why Kawhi hugs this man when he comes through to the Scotiabank Arena and loves his Dr. Alex. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I want to see this Nameless. I love your enthusiasm about the deal. You say it's a steal. Well, let's see. I mean, the stuff going out and the stuff coming in, a lot of the trade fanatics are very appeased right now. I'm going to say that. Raptors trade junkies got their fix. Yeah. Woo! Mainline! A big old deal for Brandon Ingram. Ooh, it hit so good. Those junkies got their hit. And they're happy because they're looking at what went out and what's coming in, and they are pleased because in some ways the NBA fan that just looks at names and overvalues offense loves this deal because they see two useless players for a good player, is what they say. They say. I don't say that. Kelly Olynyk is not useless, and Bruce Brown wasn't either, is what I'll say right there. That's right. Yeah, yeah. I'm enthusiastic about it. Listen, I'm the way. It's like I don't go against Bobby Masai. They think this is the right deal. Well, I think that it is, and we're going to be badasses for it. Brandon Ingram is a talent that hopefully can mesh with our guys, and we can figure this out. We can figure this out. Hopefully, we'll have to see. In some ways, he could still be like signed and traded this summer at a very reasonable price that makes him more attractive to other teams. And all of a sudden, we've got leverage in a deal to get other assets that do fit with us better. So there's a lot of flexibility in this deal still. And the thing about it is they just caught up on the timeline for Bruce Brown to do what they needed to do with him before they couldn't. So they did take care of Bruce Brown instead of keeping him around and taking the money off our books. And they got something in talent for him. And that was one of the things in the Pascal deal last year that people were pissed about, is we traded such a huge talent in Siakam to Indiana. And what did we get back? A bunch of spare parts. Jordan Wara, Bruce Brown. What is this? What is this trade? Well, this is kind of the reverse of it a year later, and getting that quality kind of like level player. I'm not saying he's Siakam, but he's not far from Siakam as far as the player and the way they are, and they're what things that they can do in the NBA. So there's a lot to break down in this. Nameless is saying Ingram was asked in an interview about which cities he loves most. You bet your bottom dollar Toronto was on that list, so it's no surprise to me. I just hope he can be focused. I just hope he can be a pro. That's the thing that I just hope for him. This city is crazy. This city can get you. This city can get you with partying and nightlife and the entertainment district and other things. The city is very interesting for fluent people like Brandon Ingram. And that's the pitfalls. That's the things I would worry about with him. But you know what? If he comes in and he understands this culture is not Pelicans culture. No, it's not going to be like that down there. Willie Green's awesome. He does a good job. But there's things, the way we do things here in Toronto right now with camaraderie and professionalism demanded by Coach Rajakovic, that, we'll see. It could be really weird. It could be that Ingram's around and between either being hurt or possibly getting in the doghouse sometimes. Like, would Darko bench him and not play him for certain reasons because of some things that he did off the court or even on the court? So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's interesting. He does have an affinity for Toronto, and he's not going to. It's not as the mystery about whether he wants to play in Toronto, which was like with Kawhi when that happened, is not the same. There was real doubt that Kawhi may not even report to Toronto. I'm going to say right now, there's no doubt that Brandon Ingram will show up and he will play for us if he's healthy. That's what I'll say right there. I will tell you right now, he has no problem playing for us. And that was more of a worry when Kawhi deal went down. Kareem saying Masai is the greatest. I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say. Yeah. Once again, we can do our every once in a while we come around and say, trust in Masai. Just trust in Masai. Believe in Bobby. Believe in Bobby. Trust in Masai. Don't doubt Darko. We're gonna get there. That's just me writing a commercial jingle off the top of my head. Trevor's saying, Steve Kerr, wants the NBA to move the trade deadline to during the All-Star break. Yeah, I saw this headline this morning. You know what? This is an issue. Honestly, this is a problem. Seriously. Actually, I want to talk about this. This is part of the reason why we lost last night, guys. This bullshit with Lee Kyer. Seriously, that is crazy shit. They did an Ohtani to the Raptors in the middle of the game last night, and it was wrong. Shams, you shouldn't be allowed to do what you do. In some ways, you're manipulating outcomes in the game. Seriously, think about this, guys. In the halftime of the game last night, the guys are in the back, and let's not get it twisted. They check trade stuff because the trade deadline, right? Well, there was a thing that said that Lee Kyer had been traded to the Raptors at halftime in the deal with Jimmy Butler, that he was getting diverted to us, Kyle Anderson, from Miami to help smooth it out and flatten it out and make it work. Well, it was preemptively announced ahead when it was not official, and it was in limbo. And this is manipulative, seriously, because think about the timing. We're at halftime. We're playing competitively against the Grizzlies. It's a close game at halftime. And there's all of a sudden something on the social media saying that Kyle Anderson's a Raptor. I'm like, what the fuck? So I went and looked, and Blake Murphy's talking about it on Blue Skies. Josh Lewenberg a little bit, Michael Grange a little bit. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it didn't really actually happen. I felt like Otani. Seriously, it's bullshit. These trade rumors need to stop like this because I'm gonna tell you, this had a real world implication on our game last night. The fans were confused about what's happening. Well, what do you think the players were? They were confused too, and they were probably trying to figure out. Wait, Toronto's in a trade with the Jimmy Butler trade. Who's getting traded out of here? Is what they're thinking about. So what do you expect? They come back from halftime and they shit the bed against the Memphis Grizzlies after a bogus ass Kyle Anderson rumor comes out without it being complete. That's irresponsible as shams. And Steve Kerr's point about not doing this during games is very valid and probably should be like this. Seriously, Adam Silver, because there could be malfeasance. There could even be some sort of fucked up like thing with gambling and sports betting where somebody does a rumor just to manipulate shit to fucking get this kind of effect. Seriously, I totally read this as the same thing because at the same time after the third quarter started, I'm still scrambling to figure out if this Kyle Anderson thing is real. And why wouldn't the Raptors themselves kind of be tipped off about the rumor and be wondering about it themselves? And they're a little bit thrown off with their focus because all of a sudden Kyle Anderson is being reported as a Raptor. Well, who did he get traded for? Is any of us leaving? Can you guys see the scenario I'm painting right here and how that's kind of fucked up that happened, that false rumor in the middle of the game last night? Because seriously, Lee Kyer was all of a sudden get Googled and looked at. And I even went and looked at his Wikipedia and it changed it to a Toronto Raptors. He's on the Toronto Raptors on there. One of those Raptors fans goes out there and does it right away. He went on Wikipedia and changed Kyle Anderson's profile to say he's on the Raptors. On Wikipedia, it said that for a few minutes last night. So it's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. Shams, you're irresponsible. And because of your family ties to executives of other teams, I don't think you should be allowed to have the power that you have in distributing information because you're irresponsible with it. And in some ways, you've hurt the focus of the Toronto Raptors in their game last night. And it seems like in a manipulative way. Because this Otani shit ain't gonna stick. Oh, did we see something from MLB and the Dodgers and Otani, and now people are gonna replicate this kind of swerve-ass move shit? And is Toronto just a natural foil as the only Canadian team? Nobody will care. We'll do this bullshit in Toronto as a city over and over again, whether it's in baseball or basketball. Fuck this shit. That's why I don't believe these rumors anymore. This Lee Kyer bullshit in the middle of the game. You don't think that affected our team and hurt us coming out after halftime in the beginning of the third quarter? Think about it. Seriously. Think about it. They were very disorganized at the beginning of the third quarter, and the Grizzlies jumped all over us. And about halfway through, when the shit settled down with Kyle Anderson saying, oh, no, it's not real. And they said, no, it's not real. And then they could go around and tell them on the bench, and they're a little bit more, whoo. And then they could focus on the damn game. Does that make sense what I'm saying right there? That Kyle Anderson trade rumor in the middle of the game by Shams was fucking bullshit because it affected the real game. The game was played. So Steve Kerr is saying that we shouldn't be doing trades on days where I agree with him. I was like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. Masai and Bobby would not make a trade during a game like this very rarely, because it is disruptive. And, making trading somebody in the middle of a game is kind of disrespectful, honestly. It's kind of disrespectful. So I agree with him. I was actually thinking this yesterday while we were watching the game when that Kyle Anderson thing came out. I said, you know what? Nobody should be trading people during games. They shouldn't be trading people on the day of games. Because, think about last year when we traded OG on the day of a Detroit Pistons game against a worst team in the league, and we lost to them. On the same day. That was a horrible day in Raptors history. We traded Anunoby. I was happy to get RJ and IQ, but we had one of our worst losses of the year against a very bad team on that day also. So I think if you can avoid making trades on days where you actually have the team playing, let alone during the game, That's why in some ways that Kyle Anderson shit didn't make sense. It's like, this isn't a Masai move. Masai doesn't make trades during games. And there was a little bit of like my spidey sense tingling. There's something ain't right here. Yeah, something ain't right. And then like them saying, oh no, he's not getting traded for anybody. We're using an exception to absorb him in his salary, and we don't have to send anybody out. I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. That we have an exception from the Siakam trade that we need to use. And well, are we going to be able to add somebody for nothing, Kyle Anderson, with an exception that we have still available at this moment? Because that's what Blake Murphy was saying last night when it happened. But no, it was bullshit. It was talked about. It was on the table. It was part of the deal, but it wasn't finalized, and it didn't happen. So Kyle Anderson is a Miami Heat. He's not a Toronto Raptor. He's not a Toronto Raptor. I agree with Steve Kerr. I don't know if we put it on the All-Star break. I mean, that actually they could make a show of it, Adam Silver. You could make a show of it if you did do it on the All-Star break. Seriously. Although it is a huge distraction, it's annoying. And also the All-Star break's still a little bit from now. So it make it even more stressful and stupid, more time of waiting for the stupid thing to be over. I don't know. Maybe the trade deadline, man, I don't even know how they should do it. I'm just glad it's going to be over today. How about that? That's what I'll say right there. Kareem saying in one calendar year, Masai flipped the whole entire roster. OG for Quicks and Barrett and Pascal for Oshai, Jacoby and Ingram. Are you not entertained? Yeah, I mean, in some ways, what was the tweet that I saw earlier? It's like basically they traded Siakam, Anunoby, Precious, Dennis, all these people, and we got like the haul is pretty interesting when you look at the list with Jacoby and Jamal and RJ and IQ and Brandon Ingram, and it's pretty interesting the flip when you look at the whole big picture of what Bobby and Masai have done in the last year, what's come in and what's gone out. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Fiercey's here. Good morning to MJ. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. So much to talk about today. First of all, who would have known yesterday would be Bruce and Kelly's last days at Raptors? I wish them all the best in New Orleans. Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I kind of called it at the beginning of the game with Trevor when we were in the chat, when I saw Bruce doing the golfing. That was totally a message, and it was to tell. Then he got to play in the game, and he did all right. He played pretty good. I mean, I should do the stars of the game, right? We got to react to the game. My first star of the game last night for the Raptors is Oshai Abaji. He was the one who got the post-game interview after the game. It was really bad. The Raptors, none of them scored 15 points or more. The high score was 14, and there were a couple guys who scored 14, 3 guys actually. And Oshai was one of them. 22 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. The threes were awesome. 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a +4 with 14 points. No turnovers. Yeah, Oshai was really solid, and he was playing at a high level and trying to match up against the Grizzlies. So kudos to you, Oshai Abaji. And man, in this new trade, I mean, I got to wonder about you and Grady and what's going to happen with you guys if Ingram's going to be stepping in the starting lineup in the spot that you guys have been kind of alternating. But Abaji was my star of the game, the best player for the Raptors last night, in my opinion. The second star is Davion Mitchell. I'm going to give Mitchell some shine for last night, too. He was off the bench. He was one of the 2+ people on our team. Him and Oshai were the 2+. And Davion, when he was out there, we were winning. 18 minutes, 4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He made his free throw. 1 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, a +6, 10 points in 18 minutes. Yeah, I was mystified why Davion didn't start. Once again, I'm going to say starting the game is really important to establish certain things. So this is part of why I think that Darko's pulling punches and we're kind of in development, not going to win mode all of a sudden again. Because starting Shed over Davion was something I wouldn't have done. Now, Shed cleaned it up, and he had a pretty good game overall, but it's not the same. Davion establishes things and gets us organized. Now, it was a game where we were missing most of the barbecue. We were missing 2 of the barbecue and the yak, and that makes it tougher for organizations starting lineup. I wish he had started Davion, honestly, but he didn't. And Davion did play better than Shed off the bench, and he did get to play a lot of the game. So, only 18 minutes of the game. So Davion's my second star of the game. It's too bad, man. I mean, Shed was okay. He was okay, but I really think that that's a nod that in some ways we're not trying to win right this second. Jonathan Mobo is my third star of the game, final star for the game. Also off the bench, Jonathan had 19 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from three. I love seeing the threes by J-Mo. 3 offensive rebounds, 6 altogether, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, a -3 with 10 points in 19 minutes. See, these aren't the best stat lines for stars, and these are the best stat lines for our players. Jonathan was very active, and he played a lot of key moments, and he got a lot of really, really good experience and grind, just like the other rookies. In fact, we saw a 4-rookie team with Grady Dick out there last night, and that is absolutely the youngest team we could have, honestly. Not absolutely, because some of those rookies are a little bit older. But, man, Jamal, Jamison, Jonathan, Jacoby, and Grady, that is a very, very young developing team that is out there playing against the Grizzlies in the second half last night. And they're small, too. They get out rebounded. When Jonathan's the only big out there, we can't rebound. We can't do that, Darko. You cannot do that, man. In some ways, I wish he had played Orlando more because, honestly, 3 minutes of Orlando Robinson last night in a game against Zach Edey, that's crazy. Why wouldn't you do that? Whoa, okay. Is it Masai's calling its development time? And don't worry so much about trying to win. Well, Orlando Robinson's contract is up on tomorrow. And, well, Kelly Olynyk's gone. So y'all might need to think about the depth at center again all of a sudden if you're not going to continue with Orlando. I would like to see him get a third 10-day contract if that's possible, or even just sign him for the rest of the year. We need the insurance. He's a good one. Listen, put a pin in him. We had Malik Williams last year, and he was horrible. Trust me, he was so bad. Orlando Robinson's good. Masai, sign him for the rest of the year, please. Just sign Orlando Robinson for the rest of the year, especially now that you traded Kelly. You need to do this, man. Seriously. I got some honorable mentions. I'll honorable mention Kelly Olynyk, even though he didn't play very good in this game. 3 of 11 for shooting last night, 1 of 5, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 0 turnovers, 5 fouls, a -22 for Kelly with 9 points in 25 minutes starting against Zach Edey. You know, the things that Kelly did at the beginning that I really liked was he was taking a lot of threes at the beginning of the game, and that was really effective at pulling Zach out of the lane. And that was something he needed to continue to do through the whole game, because when Zach and JJJ are near the basket, we can't score down there. And that's why we get into stagnation mode, which we had in the third quarter when we had 2 different 3-minute periods where we did not score any points. And that's the whole thing. You know, you got to draw him out, Kelly. If you're going to be in there starting against him, you got to shoot those threes to do it. But alas, you're on the Pelicans now. And that was your final game as a Raptor, at least on this stint. Would he be able to play for us again someday? I don't know. Maybe he'll play a long time. I don't know. Scotty Barnes had an off night, guys. 4 of 18 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, a -28 with 11 points in 32 minutes. Yeah, Scotty had one of the worst plus minuses. He did have some pretty no-look passes, and there were still some those Scotty highlights that make you think, wow, I'm so glad Scott's on our team. He's a badass. And he even had some really amazing defensive plays in the game last night. There was a couple of things he did on defense last night that were very Duncan-esque. Let's just put it that way. He's got a really amazing shot blocking ability right now around the rim as the last line of defense. So he's a rim protector technically right now. So even though Scotty had a bad offensive game last night, he was pretty good he was really good on defense. And, well, he just didn't shoot threes well last night. But, yeah, that's that. Jamal Shed had the worst plus-minus of everybody on the team. Meanwhile, Davion had the best. That's what I'm saying, Darko. Jamal, 30 minutes in the start, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He made both his free throws, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, a -37 in 14 minutes, 14 points in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's just not – this is the thing. That's too much volume for him. Seriously, that's the thing. Davion can absorb a bunch of minutes and make quality minutes out of all of them. That's too much playtime for Jamal. In some ways, he's a backup point guard right now. And you playing him starters minutes and playing for this long, it waters him down. And he's not as sharp. You blunted his sharpness as far as him playing well. I mean, I like that he shot 50%. But I don't like that he didn't get a single damn rebound. And that's a problem. I get it. That's a really big team we're playing against last night. But we need to gang rebound when there are guys like Zach Edey and JJJ out there. And he wasn't helping with the rebounds at all. In fact, it was bad near the end of the game. How we just couldn't get a single damn rebound. They kept offensive rebounding and get as many chances to shoot. I just felt like we had no chance. And this is often the case when Jakob's not playing for us. Jakob's not in the lineup. We're going to lose. We have not won a game without Jakob playing. And it's really because the rebounding battle is so unbalanced without him in our lineup. And that's really bad. Jacoby Walter, not bad in the starting lineup. He showed really grace and aptitude as a young player. And Grady, same thing. These guys are really smart players, and they do really cool stuff, like save the ball between their legs, and they're really smart at reading where the ball's going and anticipating plays and making steals and tracking down rebounds and just getting after it. And they are birds of a feather. I said this: Jacoby and Grady are badasses, and they're very similar in certain ways, but they're very different in certain ways too. 5 of 11 for Jacoby Walter, 1 of 4 from 3, made all 3 of his free throws. Very professional. I like that. These youngsters shoot their free throws and they take them seriously. That's a sign of maturity and beyond their years. And I'm telling you, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover, a -18 with 14 points in 28 minutes. Jacoby Walter, he's a really confident kid. And he's doing stuff out on the court like that is amazing. That 1 steal, there's different things he's doing here and there, and he's really good defensively. That's the other thing. Jacoby's a great scorer, but he's a good defender too. Like he's very, very eager and active. And honestly, they feed off of Scotty and his leadership. Jacoby and Grady, they just go after it more because Scotty goes after it. Grady was awesome. Did you see that little anticipation steal from Ja Morant? Who's kind of lingering behind Kelly Olynyk, and then he just jumped out in the way and stole the ball, telegraphed this pass that Ja Morant was trying to throw up the court when he was sitting on the floor. It was beautiful. It was all crazy and all over the place, but I love the smarts, the aptitude, and the awareness and the reading things ahead of time of Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter. They both have that. 5 of 17 for Grady, though. He did not shoot well. 1 of 7 from 3. 2 for 2 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds. He got 3 offensive. So he was trying to do his part as one of the only guys who's trying to get rebounds out there. I mean, Scotty only got 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 turnovers for Grady, -18 with 13 points in 32 minutes. These guys are starting. These guys need to score more. You're in there for this, Jamal Shed and you guys, you got to do better. I mean, Scotty only got 11. And we didn't have no RJ and no IQ. So somebody else got to step up, next man up. And nobody got over 15 points last night. And I know some of that is the great, excellent defensive players of the Grizzlies on the other side. It just makes it hard to score. And on the reverse, their offense is really hard to stop. So I know that they're just a really tough matchup. The Grizzlies are a team, as Darko put it after the game in the press conference, a team that's been building up for 5-6 years. And he was a part of that buildup in earlier years. So he knows it very intimately. And so he's saying, well, this is a team that's been a rebuild for 5-6 years, and this is where we're at this point. There's a lot of real respect for our team, our city, our country, and our coach from the Grizzlies team. And I love the whole Vancouver Grizzlies, Toronto Raptors 30th anniversary, Naismith Cup, 90s night feel, and how the jerseys look. And also, you got to think about it. Zach's from Toronto. Zach's on Team Canada. Darko is a former assistant coach for the Memphis Grizzlies, who a lot of the players really, really care about and love still. So there's a lot of love and genuine kind of like respect between the Raptors organization, the Grizzlies organization. 30 years into being in the NBA, they came in as sibling franchises in expansion. And well, they're still here, even if one of them's not in Canada anymore. But yeah, I love that respect. And that's the thing. You can feel it. You know that these guys on the other side, the Grizzlies, really do like and love Darko a lot. But they love him so much, they're going to beat him by average of 30 points both games this year. Jamison Battle came off the bench in 14 minutes. I wanted to see more Battle. He did get 1 3 in there, but you got to look for him. In some ways, we got to figure out how to get Battle more shots. He's in this weird situation where I just want to see Battle shoot as much as possible whenever he's out on the court. He's just like that. 1 of 2. He only got 2 shots, and he made 1 of the 2 threes. 2 rebounds, -18 with just 3 points in 14 minutes. Bruce Brown in his final Raptors game, 18 minutes, 3 of 9 from the field, missed all 3 of his threes, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 0 turnovers, minus 13 with 8 points. Orlando Robinson came in and took 2 free throws and missed one and didn't do much else. Got 2 fouls, a minus 8 in 3 minutes. That was something I did not agree with. You seriously, I didn't agree it from the start. I mean, if they knew Kelly was going to play his last game as a Raptor, that's nice of them to let him start and play in this 90s game, like I said earlier. But man, the matchup physically against Zach Edey should have been Orlando Robinson way more in this game. And I didn't totally agree with this. In some ways, the thing is, Jonathan and Scotty are a cool tag team, and they can play 4 and 5 off each other. They really do have that sense. But it's so tough when the other 4 and 5 is Jackson and Edey. Like they're just overmatched, and the rebounding totals for this game show it. It's tough, man. It's like the center depth just went out the window, and Jakob's hurt right now, so I really feel scared in these next couple games against really good opponents. Like seriously, what's Oklahoma City going to look like if we have no center? It's going to look like the end of last year when we had no center and no Scotty. Is what it's going to look like. Yeah, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. Yeah, that's the box score. I'm going to give some kudos to the other side. Zach Edey, perfect from the field. 5 of 5, 3 4 at the free throw line, 15 rebounds, including 6 offensive. He was just standing there and grabbing them, and he wouldn't go back up. He'd throw it back out to them, and they'd shoot a 3, like Scottie Pippen Jr. hit a 3 or something like that. Zach was a plus 32, guys. He really has an impact in the game. They won by 31, but he was a plus 32. 13 points also. So a double-double for Zach in his first ever NBA game back home in Toronto. And there were fans at the arena for Zach and family and friends. That was awesome, man. I love Zach Edey, man. I ain't never going to hate on him. And the respect and love he shows guys like Kelly Olynyk. And, it's just cool. It's cool. That was probably a real good dream for him, realized, playing in front of the Toronto crowd. And Matt Devlin is going to take every chance he can get to show his personal pictures of Zach Edey playing hockey from when he was younger. Every time he can, he will. He will. Ja Morant was really good, too. That 1-2 punch is really deadly. 9 of 14 for Ja, 3 of 7 from 3, 5 of 6 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, 26 points for Ja, a plus 16. Ja did some of that floaty stuff in the game. I'm like, man, he's unreal, man. It's really crazy how he can just defy gravity unlike anybody else in this world. It's weird, man. That block shot that he had that was a goaltend was totally him hanging like weird hang time. That Grady little shot from the baseline that went up and it was coming down when he hit it, that was a goaltend. It's crazy how he hung in the air to do that because he was up there before Grady shot it, and he just kind of hung out up there. Are you going to shoot it, Grady? Okay, here it comes. Now I'll get it. It's crazy, man. But yeah, they're an interesting team. It's weird seeing Marcus Smart play in this game last night. He had 0 points. He was 0 for 6. But Marcus, to me, and I was making this joke to Trevor in the chat, Marcus, to me, last night looked like a Vancouver Grizzly circa 1997. Stuck out in Vancouver on those really bad teams that Stu Jackson built. That's what he looked like to me. He still looked like a throwback player. With his hair like just normal and like wearing the old Vancouver Grizzlies jersey. I was like, man, he looks like he's a throwback to like 97 Grizzlies, Vancouver Grizzlies, like that Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Bryant Reeves era. That's what I was like thinking there. Fiercely saying, however, kind of sad for Kelly, will be awkward to watch bar burrito ads. Yeah, Kelly, honestly, he can still do ads up here fine because he's Team Canada hero and he's a Raptor now. And in some ways, he's an alumni. So you can do that stuff. It's weird, though. He's gone now. It's weird. In some ways, it's like Kelly was a player, a Canadian that I hated for his whole entire career until he came to Toronto. And now I love him. I really do. I've loved him more partly because of Team Canada, though, and watching him on that a lot over the years. So Kelly's awesome. He's a tried and true Raptor. He's a dirty player, and he's somebody that you like having on your team, but if he's on the other team, you hate him. And, well, we had him on our team for a little while, so I love him now. Yeah. Naga saying Ingram has the best three-point shooting stats currently on the team, averaging almost a steal a game, coming in as highly efficient scorer, coming into a situation with a qualified medical staff. I'm excited. So Gerald's got the 2 thumbs up. He's feeling good about the Brandon Ingram trade. I am too. I mean, I'm going to think positively about it and wish the best optimistic outcomes. And hopefully Brandon can have excellent health. He can fit in nicely. He can be a good teammate, and he can understand Darko's plan and fit within it. In some ways, that may be part of it. Our plan is very unselfish. We're not ego and we're not all about each other being, oh, I'm bigger and better. No, this is a team concept and we play as a true team and we're all for one and one for all. And the way we share the ball on our team right now with Darko's offensive system, he needs to respect that, is what I'm going to say about Brandon Ingram. So if he's a good student of Darko's system and understands what we're trying to achieve here, and he uses his talents in those ways and doesn't try to go out of the box, he could have that's what we want. In some ways, it may be nice for Brandon at this stage in his career to try and take not necessarily a lesser role, but a more potent role in certain ways, and not necessarily high usage, not high usage. Maybe we need to make him a more potent weapon in certain ways. I don't know. I'm just trying to brainstorm how this fit's going to happen, Nako. And I'm trying to look out for my guy, RJ, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Change is weird. Change is going to happen. And well, changes happened last night is what's happened. Yeah. Messiah's cooking something, Trevor's saying. And Kareem's saying, Lex, hurry up and start the stream. I'm fucking hyped. There you go. This was before the stream. All right. Now we're in the stream comments. I know we have Boucher and Davion, but these guys are pivotal. One is a spark plug and the other one is a crazy defender. These are good team players to have on a team when you're building a championship. And that's why I say, this is a weird thing. Like a lot of people don't get this trade last night because the Raptors are not supposed to be buyers. We're supposed to be sellers. At least all the people who make the rules and try and figure it out. I was going to read Tim Bontemps or Kevin Pelton, whoever, a breakdown of our trade last night, but I went and looked at it and they gave us like a C- for it and just wrote a bunch of rubbish about how the Raptors just don't make any sense again because Brandon Ingram's there. I'm not going to let y'all paint the story of it or say whatever you're going to say because you're biased, obviously, especially since you're giving teams that did little piddly deals yesterday A's for like trade picks and fucking small bit-ass players, like for teams that you do love. So I'm not putting any weight into trade grades for our trade last night from ESPN or USA Media places and stuff like that. I want to see how this is going to work. Like I said, we got to see how Brandon takes to Darko's ideas in our system and Scott being the leader and knowing the hierarchy of the team and what, he's all about. Do you want to win a championship? Will you listen to Masai's vision, Brandon Ingram? And will you fit with us? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know right there. Yeah. Fiercely saying yesterday, first half was solid. Then Memphis turned the defense up. They are number 2 for a reason in the West. But all good goes in as a development exercise for the rookies. I have faith. They really got a lot of time out there, that young team out there. It was amazing. We actually went up to 4 rookies on the court at once with Grady. That is as young as you can get. That's 4 rookies, minus Ulrich, who's down in 905. Not down, who's on the 905. I'm going to change my word speak on that. He's on the 905. And Grady, the rookie from last year. So a second-year player and 4 first-year players all on the court at the same time against the number 2 team in the West. That's crazy. That's tough. But that's throwing them to the fire and giving them extremely crazy experience in the rookie year. They'll be better for it in the long run. That's why in some ways they're fast-tracking. Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo. Those guys are fast-tracking. Jamison Battle, fast-tracking. They're fast-tracking on their NBA careers and knowledge and becoming bona fide vets and pros. It was like we were joking with Scott after his first year on Twitch that summer in 2022. Scotty Barnes' Twitch family. Fiercey knows she was there. And I said, Scott, you're not a rookie anymore. You're a second-year vet. I was calling him a vet already after 1 year in the NBA after winning Rookie of the Year. I was like, Scotty, you're not going to be a rookie anymore. Now you're a vet. You only took 1 year to become a vet. Some guys have to take a couple years before they get vet status and like you're a veteran. But no, he's a vet right away. And these guys are vets already too with the half a season underneath their belts. It's crazy. Like, that's why I would say that. Like, Jamal Shed don't play like a rookie. He plays like a vet. You know I'm right when I say that. Seriously. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's really good drafting and analyzing character and the what makes these guys tick. Like seeing Jamal Shed at Houston, he's special. He's not just this and this. The winning is there's something about him with the winning at Houston. There's things built into him that make him who he is what I'm saying. Jacoby Walter, same thing. Grady Dick, same thing. That's what, it's cool. It's cool. They've done a really good job of collecting these kind of guys on our team. Because, like I said, there's a lot of young people that are just knuckleheads and they're not doing things for the right reasons. DeMar DeRozan does things for the right reasons. Pascal Siakam does things for the right reasons. But some other players in the NBA aren't doing things in the NBA for the right reasons. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Fiercely saying that Kareem Thomas, we're definitely entertaining and grateful for Masai and Bobby. Wow. Yes, nameless. Dr. McKechnie will work his magic on Brandon. Yeah. Yeah, we'll hope and see. I want to see what happens there. Smooth saying, considering the kind of player Brandon Ingram can be, the talent, it's a great trade. The Raptors gave up on the Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and gave up, or they traded the first round pick we got from Indiana, and then there's a second round pick that's also in the deal too. So there's 2 picks. There's a first and a second. I like this. Now, some people may be upset about the picks being involved in the deal, but I've always said that we don't have to be like Oklahoma City Thunder. We don't have to spray buckshot on picks and just have a whole bunch of people. No, we need to have concentrated slots and maximize the potential of quality and using things by having just a few picks and really getting quality guys like Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, stuff like that. Because if you get we can't get 5 rookies every year like we did this year. And in some ways, having extra picks in the years to come will stymie and mess up growth invested in some of these really great young players we got right now. So in some ways, having 1 or 2 picks every draft is fine, is the best. Not having 3 or 4, not having an abundance. No, that can get really messy. And there's waste. How about that? There's draft waste that you go through with that. Some people say, well, that's the philosophy. We're just going to have draft waste. We don't care. But that's not the way to do it. Just trust me. So I like the Raptors maybe not having so many picks right now and shoring them down a little bit. Brandon Ingram in some ways could be traded into more picks again turned around going the other way. So it can work. It can work either way. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting trade. In some ways, they didn't get a big, huge player from us. They got the promise of draft picks in some ways, and the money coming off for Bruce. Carlos saying, morning, Lex and Freaks. Great stuff from Masai and Bobby again. Getting Ingram from expiring. Yeah, from expirings. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was smoke. We heard the smoke. In some ways, we went back and forth about whether we like this Ingram thing. We looked at the pluses and the negatives. Well, it's happened now, so I guess the pluses in Masai's eyes are good. So, it could very well be that Brandon. Let's just see how this goes, man. It'd be really cool if we got Brandon Ingram in the way, kind of like Vince Carter got in New Jersey. If he showed up on our team all of a sudden and he's healthy, and he's in a really new state of mind because he's in new scenery, and he's really coming to start over his career in a little bit, and like Davion Mitchell and other people that have come to new teams. Sometimes it's like a reset, and I'm going to start doing things a little bit differently. So hopefully this kind of stuff can happen. Maybe some of the guys on our team will be good influences on him, and maybe he'll get some work habits that are different in certain ways, partly because of people like Scotty. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see. Stargate saying, I can bet you Brandon Ingram will not be on the 2025-2026 opening day roster. This is speculation about this. I would say this. The track record with Masai and Bobby on doing these kind of deals is that they are going to go ahead and get an agreement ahead of time with the person, whether it's Kelly, whether it's Jakob in the last 2 years, that we get these people traded here, and then we say, yeah, but we're going to have a talk in the summer, and we're going to make sure we do something. And there's already kind of a prior agreement. Jakob had that when we got him back from San Antonio. He had free agency. He could have gone anywhere, but he had a gentleman's agreement with Masai and Bobby that he'd re-sign with us for his 4-year, $80 million deal. So, and Kelly had a similar kind of thing. Like when we before we even traded and got him here, we kind of already fielded him out on saying, yeah, we want to re-sign you in the summer and give you another contract. And we did. And so I don't know if that kind of stuff is already set up. And as I said, I believe in the deal because we put the draft picks in there. We get his bird rights. And that gives a lot more leverage for the team in some ways on matching offers in free agency this summer. Now, part of it is that Brandon Ingram is one of these players that's overpaid right now, and they're going to have to balance out the level of pay that he gets this summer. He's going to get a pay degrade. He's not going to get a big, huge contract. And one of the things that some people are saying is this is actually pretty good because if you think about what Siakam got paid last year, we might be able to get a player that's not Siakam, but comparable in some ways for a much lower price this summer because Brandon Ingram's price tag is way lower than Siakam's. So in some ways, that's part of the magic of Masai in the long-term process of this whole thing with the Siakam deal last year is in some ways we flipped a younger player than Siakam with some of the same skills and abilities, and we may be able to pay him less even too. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. Fiercey's wondering why you're saying this, that he won't be on our team. I don't think he's right. I don't think Stargate's right. I think that if Ingram likes being on the Raptors when he comes in, we'll have to see how things go. If it's a fit, if there's no kind of issues, if he starts to get healthy, if he's enthusiastic about it, you may be surprised what he might do this summer. Also, if we have his bird rights, we have a lot of leverage to sign and trade him if he doesn't want to be here. It could very well be that Masai and Bobby talk to him and say, well, we got your bird rights. We'll sign you to the deal and we'll turn you around and trade you and we'll get these assets. So there's a lot of flexibility in this. Smooth saying, I expect the Raptors to carefully manage his ankle and will sit him out much of the second half. This may very well be true. That, we may get a Brandon Ingram debut for the Raptors, but it may be that he is not playing most of the games for the rest of the season. We'll have to see. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just going to let things happen how they happen, and we'll react here. That's right. The Stargate saying he doesn't fit this team. I won't disagree with this take. In some ways, I might say this too, that he doesn't totally fit our team with the amount of mouths that need to be feeded. And in some ways, if you're going to make me choose between having RJ Barrett long-term or Brandon Ingram, I'm going to pick our hometown guy. In some ways, that's more important than, Brandon Ingram being on our team. I think RJ in the long run will be a better player for us than Brandon. So I think it's very, very important that we take care of RJ first if we're going to have any priority of which player we want to have for our future. So that's what I'm saying here. All right, let me see. Where am I on the chat? I lost my spot. I know I'm not that far in. Y'all, I'm going to need a cutoff. I know this is going to be crazy. I know this is going to be a crazy stream. In some ways, I don't want to talk. I know it's probably going to be 3 hours. It may be. Let's see. Fiercely saying Zach Edey, despite playing for another team, I'm very proud of him. I am too. He's a Canadian product. It's just like how we can be proud of SGA tomorrow night. It's just like how we can be proud of Dylan Brooks when we play Houston on Sunday. These are Canadian guys who play for our national team, and then they're guys we root for. They're part of our family too because they're Team Canada. And Zach Edey, SGA, these are great, great young players. They're the future of the NBA, and they're fantastic. Jimmy saying, I'm super excited, and I'm sure we wouldn't have made the trade without word from his camp that he'd be down to sign multi-year deal. That's what Chris Haynes was saying. Brandon Ingram's going to fit really well. See, here's a counterpoint by the Pope of Positivity, Jimmy Pope. He sees it all as gravy, baby, that it's looking real good. And yeah, Chris Haynes is saying that Brandon Ingram does intend to sign a deal after this. It'll be very fair, hopefully. But once again, there's going to be a correction with some of these crazy contracts that players that did not earn them with getting lower pay. Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, Zach LaVine. These kind of players are going to have to take less money next time their contract's up because they got overpaid. And then, even Luka is a symbol of this. The trading of Luka by the Mavericks is kind of in this whole thing too. It's like, what are we paying this guy? What are we getting back? Kind of stuff. Let's see. Smooth saying at Stargate, he said he's very excited about Toronto and thinks he can take it to another level via Chris Hayes. See, this is great. This reliable source. Chris Hayes is going to say this. It's true. And I believe this is true because I don't think Brandon Ingram's ever had a problem with Toronto. And I think he's the kind of guy, he's kind of like, he's not going to be xenophobic. And he's also, he's hip. He's a smart guy in certain ways. The dude is like a Kobe Bryant in some ways. His moves very much mimic Bryant. You can watch a tape of Brandon Ingram and look at Kobe Bryant and compare, and he's totally ripped off Kobe's moves. That's the craziest thing. Brandon Ingram, in some ways, is like a taller Kobe Bryant. Not the exact same player. I'm not saying he's Kobe Bryant, but he has some of the offensive moves that Kobe does, and he's like just taller. It's kind of cool. Stargate saying this reeks of Rudy Gay all over again. Yeah, in some ways, I can see this comparison where he would be Rudy Gay. And in some ways, we're bringing that guy who kind of crowds things up. Well, what did we do with Rudy Gay? We turned around and traded him. It's not like we have to keep him for sure. And if it doesn't fit, and if it's kind of weird, if it's not a thing with Scott that he likes, because that's an important thing too. What is Scotty going to like playing with him? Is he going to okay it? Is he going to feel like it's the right move? In some ways, we get a little bit of a trial with him for the rest of the season. And like I said, I don't think Raptors fans should fear losing Ingram in the summer, because if we do, it's going to be a sign and trade. And we're going to get a package that may fit our team better. So once again, trusting Bobby Masai means trusting that even if they made a deal that doesn't seem like it fits, they may swing it around and make it fit even better on the next swing of it. So we'll just see. Man, I'm excited about it too. I want to see if he works. If he doesn't, well, we've got him on a trial run and we'll see what happens. And there's flexibility to get rid of him and get something else for him. Kareem saying, Stargate, you think Masai is that dumb to not discuss and have a plan in place already? Like, seriously. No, I think they've got it figured out. I mean, Stargate, I get what Stargate's saying, because he was on my side when we were talking about this in the last 2 weeks, that we didn't really want Ingram. Well, I said this too. I said, if Bobby and Masai decide they want Ingram, I will tout it up and I'll say, yeah, this is good. And this is why. I think the flexibility of it is really good. So, all right, let me fix it again. I'll be back. This stupid thing, I should just nail it up or something. It's like really cold. And I don't think the tape sticks when the cold is like that. All right, let's keep going. There's a lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about. Jimmy saying IQ, RJ, Scott, Ingram, and Pirtle. It's one hell of a starting lineup, in my opinion. It's a good one, but I don't know, man. I don't like kind of throwing Grady to the side in some ways. I don't know how this is going to all go. We'll have to see how Darko does this. You know, I really think Darko did a fantastic job with the rotations in the first half of the game last night. But in the second half, he definitely went young. And that really did kind of blow the game wide open. I mean, that's really what the game was last night. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Smooth saying, I mean, this is a trade for next year, man. You know, I think that you got to strike when the iron's hot. And the opportunity in the window for Brandon Ingram to do this trade is just different. It's kind of like with Kawhi. The window was when Kawhi was at a peak problem with San Antonio. And it was getting like that for New Orleans. They needed to do something with Brandon right now, or they were going to lose out the summer, right? So they got some assets for him. So they were under pressure. And that's why we had to do it now. Even if it does seem like early, I feel like it is early too. I feel like we need a little bit more time with our young core and letting them do things without this add-on piece of talent to take us to the next level. But Bobby and Masai, I mean, I guess maybe they're seeing the success that we're already having, and they're like, you know what? Screw this. We're going to do just bad enough to get a good draft pick this year, and we're going to come back next year and we're going to compete full out because we've got Brandon Ingram. We've already got our talent upgrade. And he may be on a little bit of a delay in adding his benefit to our team in the second half of the season because of his injuries. And he may not have the full effect of what he's going to give us until next year. And then, boom, we'll see. We'll see how it is with the development of all of our young guys in this year, a new draft pick, and also Brandon Ingram healthy, and see what happens. We'll have to see. So we're saying I'm 100% that the front office already has an extension in place for him. And they probably got it figured out. They probably do. That's what they do. They got a 5 and 10 year plan that we have no idea about. They're thinking that far out, guys. 5-10 years from now. They look at it all, man. Carlos saying Darko will work his magic with Ingram just like he did with RJ. It'll be fun to see, like, because Ingram's a really interesting talent. And some of the experts are saying that they feel like Darko will have a lot of fun utilizing Brandon Ingram and what he does. So I'm excited about it. It'll be interesting. He's a player I've always kind of liked. I'm gonna be honest. It's not a player that I've made fun of him at times, and like for being kind of dopey and different things. And maybe I've said bad things about him, but for the most part, I also really respect him and like him as a player in the league. So I'm not upset. He's not on my list of I never want this guy to be a Raptor. He's definitely not on that list. Carlos saying Darko will work. Oh yeah, I read that. Stargate saying at Kareem, I say Masai and Bobby are dumb. Did I say Masai and Bobby are dumb? Yeah, there's no reason to, you guys are misinterpret or say things. I don't think he said that. He just doesn't like the deal because it's crowding up the the team with a a high usage guy. So fiercely saying at Stargate, maybe Darko will pull something interesting. They got him. This means they have plans for him. It's just that it now means less time for Grady, Osha, and Mobo. Yeah, I mean, having talent and having a better team is a good thing, right? And that's what we did yesterday. We upgraded in talent. I think that that's the one thing you can say from this deal is we upgraded in talent. We got a guy who's a bona fide 20 plus scorer in the league and is just a proven dude in a lot of ways in this league already. So, if anything, we can say that we have a talent upgrade, and our team is more talented today than it was yesterday. So, Seymour saying so much for a Linux retirement as a Raptor. Yeah, I'm sad for that, but it could. I think it really was between Boucher and Olenek that New Orleans was going to get either one of them because of the way the money fit, and their contracts are similar. And it could be that New Orleans kind of preferred Olenek for fit, especially since they traded Tice out yesterday too, and they didn't have a backup center, so they kind of like added. They traded a backup center out and added a backup center yesterday with Kelly. So I think that Chris might have possibly been in this deal, guys. There's an alternate universe where Chris went instead of Kelly, guys. And in some ways, I'm glad I'm in this universe where Chris is still a Raptor right now. Fiercely saying only one thing I'm annoyed is him Bi being signed with Clutch, though. Yeah, that's right. You got to remind me that he is a Rich Paul guy. Well, we'll just see how things go this summer with the negotiating with Brandon Ingram. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. First, Fiercely saying countdown is on, fam. Lexa joining in 4:18. Was that how many comments y'all said before I even came on? Wow. Holy crap. All right, I got to get going because I'm an hour in. Trevor saying will Ingram come to life? Okay, I thought you said real Ingram. We'll have upgrades, shot maker, long range, and very good middle range shooter. Well, he's just a good scorer. He's a very long guy who can shoot very, very well. He's got good mechanics. And he's a dynamic scorer. In some ways, his defense could be maybe more exemplary in certain ways, but he has a long body, so he has a lot of potential to be a better defender. So, I mean, that may be the area where we got to see him grow, just like you guys said with RJ. RJ's shown more defensive chops on the Raptors and more playmaking. Maybe these are two things that we'll see in Ingram also. I mean, if he's going to fit in the scheme of how we move the ball around, he's going to probably be a cutter, just like Grady and Jacoby to the basket and getting passes. But he may also have to be a threat that drives and cuts, as far drives and kicks. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the actions are that Darko loves about Brandon that he wants to utilize. Brandon's not going to be able to do everything that he does on other teams on our team, and some ways he's going to have to fit into the offense we've already been building, and we'll just have to see what that looks like. It could fit really well. I mean, he's a professional basketball player. He may be refreshing to him to try something different. And it may be nice for him to not have so much pressure on him in certain ways, to be a leader on the team in some ways, since RJ and Scotty and Emmanuel are around. So let's see. Tristan's here. I like this more. I'd still like another big to pair with Yak, though. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We are going to need depth at front again now, especially if we don't have Orlando coming back tomorrow. We're going to have Jakob as our only center, and he's on the DL right now. Stargate saying the best we can hope for is that Ingram matures like how Lowry did, become a man and a professional. We know he wanted to come here for the medical stuff, so let's see. That's a great comparison, Stargate. I like that idea. I'm going to give you a dunk for that. That'd be really cool if this does happen. You're right. If that same kind of effect. Now, he's not Lowry exactly. Lowry did have some serious attitude issues in his early years in the NBA. In some ways, they are part of what makes him so great. But, I don't know if the issues of Brandon Ingram are the same. I don't know. But if there is any kind of maturity that can happen here where he changes in certain ways with his profile as an NBA player, I'm fully welcoming it. That'd be awesome. But that's an interesting idea. I gave you a dunk for it. Interesting idea. Carlos saying Will Lou said that Clutch has a Toronto-based agent handling Ingram. Okay. Well, that's good. There's a Clutch agent that's based in Toronto. Jimmy's saying he's most likely not going to play much this year, so we'll still get a really valuable pick. Yeah, that's probably the trade-off. In some ways, the timing's good that way. It's like we know he's coming in. He's already acquired, but maybe he's not coming in fast. and we can still continue to develop young guys and play them a lot and still, be, we're if he came back fully healthy right away and we played and we were all fully healthy and we made a run to make the play in, would that be possible? Probably not, because we have a lot of injuries right now. RJ's going to be out for a week. Jakob is out now, and I don't know when he's coming back. And, Emmanuel's just coming back now, so he's on restrictions. In some ways, rushing Brandon Ingram in to do anything this season is not smart. So I think that you guys are right when you're describing this, that he may not be playing a whole lot for us this season. He may be just trying to get healthy. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And that'll help us get a better pick. Seymour saying, why give the Lakers a center? F you, Charlotte. I don't know. Maybe Adam Silver gave him an offer they couldn't refuse. You better do it. I know. That's like, why did they do that? Carlos saying Charlotte got Connect. That's why. They did get their rookie, Dalton Connect. That's right. There was a couple things they got there. When Mark Williams, he's an okay center. He's not like super, super great, right? Right. Let's see. Idiots is what Seymour's calling him. Carlos saying, trust in Messiah and Bobby. There you go. That's what we say after a trade like this. That's right. Seymour saying there now Charlotte bug squash. Bug squash. Oh, they're making me laugh in this crazy dark world. Seymour Pape, you're going to get a dunk. Because he called them Charlotte bug squash. Oh, so funny. I did a little before the game, before the stream today, partly because of Brandon Ingram. I was like, man, if I'm going to be reacting to Brandon Ingram trade to Toronto, I'm going out front for a little bug squash. That's good. Stargate saying Ingram's talent is undeniable, but can he develop the maturity and professionalism that his team needs from him to take this team to the next level? And the clutch thing concerns me. These are all, you guys are my family. You really are my Raptor Freak family, because I'm feeling these things too, Stargate. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I like that you're kind of not totally like enthusiastic about this deal, but you're looking at everything and we're kind of talking about it. And that's good. We don't need to all be like, woo, Brandon Ingram, because there's a lot to it that we got to kind of digest. And some of it may be kind of have aspects that aren't totally positive. So we'll have to see. And Stargate is very important with his voice today, guys. Bryce is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. W. Masai. Ingram will be fine with us. We didn't need to didn't give up anything we needed, and we kept Boucher. Bryce is celebrating this, and I'm with you, Bryce. I'm so happy Chris is still on our team. Let's get to 3 p.m. still, though. That'd be crazy if they did one more trade and something crazy still. I don't know. If they do a trade, I'd like to get a big back. Yeah, I'm with the person who said, yeah, we need to get a big in another deal. If we did that before 3 in some sort of meaningful way that wasn't too crazy with shaking up our team, that might be good. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we're done. Maybe this is it. But yeah, I don't know. Chris is still on our team. Let's get to the trade deadline today in the afternoon. And woo, seriously. G saying, if he is excited, I am excited. We need a shot creator, dynamic scorer, and we got one with length as well. I mean, did we need that though? I mean, we do have RJ. We do have Emmanuel. I don't know if we needed him, but the thing I will say is the talent pool just went up on the Raptors, and that will bring competition and stuff like that. And it'll bring the level of our team up to compete with the best teams in the league better. Brandon Ingram is a good weapon that people have to worry about. It's just we got to make him fit in an efficient, smart way that fits with Darko's vision, and then we'll be all right. Randolph's here. Blessings, 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 beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Others may not agree with the direction you choose, but when you believe in the plans you made, stay the course. Yeah, not everybody's going to have the same perception of you, and they may be looking at you from the outside, and some of the stuff that they think is just not fair. You deal with your own things on your own, and if you have a plan and a thing you're trying to do, even if some people don't get it, doesn't mean you should stop doing it and listen to them. I don't know. In some ways, it's like they say, if you're going to do things, work in secret and get them done, and then let people see the results. How about that? How about that? Blessings to the Phillips family and all the other Raptor Freak families today. That's right. There it goes again. I'm telling you, this thing doesn't want to stay on the wall today. All right, hang on. It's the cold weather. It's very cold today. All right, let me just freaking really Put this thing up there. Stupid flag. Come on now. I am gonna have to get this figured out. It's the wind. It's the weather. It's because it's so freaking cold, man. All right. Anyway. All right. Let's keep going. Carlos saying we bought low on Ingram. All we had to give up was expiring contracts and late picks. Yeah, I think the first round pick for the Pacers is not going to be a high draft pick. It'll be like a late first round pick, maybe in the late teens, like the Jacoby one. I think that's right. I think that's right. Nameless saying they do not acquire Ingram without having Darko know exactly how he intends to use him. For sure. For sure. Communication is very good in our organization, and everybody's on top of this and involved. I'm sure even Scotty was talked to before this deal was made, because they like to keep Scotty involved and make him feel like, the franchise guy and part of decisions. And that he's, we've seen him in draft war rooms for the Raptors and draft day. We've seen Scotty be involved in these kind of decisions. Fred has said that they would talk to him about deals when he was one of our main guys. So I'm sure Scotty was consulted also, not only Darko, but Scotty. And Scotty probably thinking about, Brandon Ingram. Yeah, man, he's good. Yeah, I played against him. He's probably saying stuff like that. Yeah, it's probably what Scotty's saying. Yeah, exactly. Nameless. Exactly. Yeah, Monique is here. Good morning to super fan Monique. Lawrence going to the game again yesterday. And Monique ran into a couple of Raptors legends at 90s night. Monique taking pictures with Tracy Murray and Muggsy Bogues last night. Beautiful, beautiful pic of you, Mo, with them. Would you mind me sharing it in the Raptor Freak community tab chat for the Raptor Freaks on this channel? Not everybody has you on Facebook, and I think the picture of you with Tracy Murray and Muggsy Bogues is awesome, Monique. But yeah, she got to see a couple people. She saw Javon Shepard on the way out too. So yeah, Monique, I hope you had a good time at 90s night, rocking the purple. And yeah, it's too bad they couldn't win, but what an interesting game. And wow, what a trade. Yeah, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. What a wild 24 hours for me, but I'm here. Go Raptors. Yeah, we appreciate you being here. I know you're probably tired too, because you did a back-to-back. Monique is like that. She did the back-to-back too. Just like the Raptors. She was at both games in the last 2 days and putting in a back-to-back. So, Mo, you rest easy. And I just feel privileged and blessed to have your presence in the chat when you are here with me. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Name is saying Darko is mostly likely involved in the process. For sure. The one concern is Ingram plays in ISO. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's exactly. Reggie's right. He likes to play in isolation and like Siakam kind of stuff on the side. That's why I'm saying he may have to be more of a spot shooter and maybe a cutter and have to work within our system. And that's the thing I'm trying to visualize right now. How does Brandon work with all that? In some ways, it's like RJ is the template that you can kind of see it from. And it could very well be now the RJ drives and he does like running downhill stuff through the lane. Well, what is Brandon's action in the whole Raptors offensive scheme? What is Brandon's bread and butter action? Scotty's got certain moves. I really love the way they're flipping the post with him and Kelly a couple of games ago, or Jakob. He would flip the post. They pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll towards the basket. Weird stuff like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. It could very well be he gets utilized a little bit like Scotty in posting up down low, and then all of a sudden he can pass out if he's got doubled. Or he has a very good ability to score on people with his long arms and make shots and turnarounds over people. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it fits in the Darko scheme. It's a question mark. It is definitely a question mark. Nako's saying Ingram's going to fit well with the Darko system. That's what Gerald thinks. This was saying, so I'm guessing Scotty will defer to him. I don't know. I mean, Scotty's deferring to RJ and Grady and people. He's already just naturally deferring as a Magic Johnson type of hub player. So that wouldn't be a big deal but I don't think, in some ways also it's like, well, in clutch situations at the end of games, will Brandon Ingram be carrying and trying to score for us while we're trying to make up a deficit or keep a team below us? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. The dude is really a good scorer. So Stargate's got a good point here. He's a Duke guy, just like RJ. So he's in the family with RJ. So in some ways, if they have a prior relationship from being alumni of the same school, maybe there's a certain amount of communication and figuring it out with the balance between Barrett and Brandon for what's going to happen coming up. I don't know. That's a good thing that he's a Duke guy. Name is saying, how does that Siakam deal look now? Pretty great, I'd say. This is what we were saying about a year ago when the Siakam deal went down and we got what we got. I was like, guys, don't overreact. This is not the other side. There's another shoe to drop with the Siakam deal. And this kind of is officially the other shoe dropping last night. All year, everybody's like, man, we got robbed for Siakam. Indiana got fleeced us. And I'm like, well, we still got to see how we turn Bruce around. And well, we turned Bruce around last night, and it's Brandon Ingram. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's right. How's it look now? Bryce is saying Ingram fits so well because he has really good playmaking chops. Our offensive system is not going to change because we have Ingram. It's still 0.5 offense. It might be really fun and challenging for him, honestly. In some ways, these guys get bored with the NBA in times. And it's just like, oh, you're just going to utilize me this way. Darko's innovative. He's doing some stuff that nobody else is doing in the league right now with the way we're cutting and passing and our assist numbers and stuff like that. So in some ways, I'll be very curious to see Brandon Ingram take the challenge and integrate himself into it and see what that looks like. It'd be really cool. Seymour saying Yak, Barnes, Ingram, Barrett's IQ starting 5. Well, if you're going by the contracts and the level of talent, yeah, it is. Bryce is saying my only concern is his defense. Yeah, but this is the thing. We could, if the team defense is led by Scott and we're seeing RJ play better defense than his whole entire career right now. That'll bring it out in them. It's really like kind of a team motto in the way they're going about things. If you're in a weird situation, you're a bad team and you really are kind of biding your time to figure out what's going on, like he was in the Pelicans, he's not going to play all out. If he's in a team that believes in it and they're bought in and they're all for one for all, like the Raptors are right now, he may fall right in line. Is what I'm saying. And you may see an extra an extra defensive effort out of Brandon Ingram you've never seen before. Because maybe part of the balance is he's shifting some of the energy he expends on the court out of offensive activities because it's not necessary because we've got a balance with everybody. And he's putting out more energy on the defensive end, partly because of that difference. That could be happening. That could be part of what Darko says. Is like, look, I don't want you to average 25 here. I don't want you to average 25 here. I want you to get around 20, but I want you to play full out on defense. That's more important. And you will play only if you play full out on defense. If you don't, well, I'll put you on the bench until you figure it out. G saying, I wonder how the Fire Messiah people feel today. I don't care. I hope they're having a good day, but those people are jerks and they need to shut the fuck up, is what I'm saying. Yeah, one figure salute for the Fire Messiah people. That's right. AKA Basketball Rewind. Carlos saying, how about Darko's team Canada coach? No, I already said, no, we can't do this. We learned our lesson with Nick. If anything goes wrong with the Raptors or with Team Canada, vice versa, we don't want to make it awkward in the situation. Nick Nurse was a lesson that we learned. We don't need to ever make that mistake again. So the Team Canada coach and the Raptors coach should always be different people. They should not be the same person. No, they should not. No. Kareem saying at Bryce, his defense is better than Grady's, and he's replacing him in the starting 5. It's all about perspective. He's a longer, more experienced player, and yeah, he's got more muscle. It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. It may not be an upgrade over Oshai, but it's an upgrade over Grady. I'll say that for defense. Smooth saying Scottie Barnes really gonna embrace the Scottie Pippen role. It's gonna be a good, in my opinion. So you're saying that you want to see Scottie be like Scottie Pippen, who we saw his son, Scottie Pippen Jr. last night, who was actually really good, man. Scottie Pippen is not brawny. This guy belongs in the league, Scottie Pippen Jr. So you think Scottie's going to be like Scottie and Brandon's going to be like MJ? Is that what you're trying to say? I'd rather MJ be RJ. I'd rather that. That's just one letter off. Why can't we make MJ RJ in some ways too? I don't know. Maybe Brandon Ingram's Tony Kukoc. All right, let's go. Seymour saying, I'm glad I live so far away that I don't see them toxic ass fans. Wow, you even put the peach ass in there. Like you feel so much about them being such toxic ass fans. You put the ass in it. Damn, man, that's crazy. That's full ass in. Where's Kareem? Let's see. Calling for the firing of our coach or GM idiots. Yeah, you know what? They may be around you too. I mean, there's an idiot fan out in Saskatchewan that puts out all kinds of stupid Raptors rumors and dumb stuff. A 90 something Raptors, they're like an area code on Instagram. They're always putting horrible shit out. Horrible stuff. No, they're out there too. It's just you don't see them. You don't know who they are. That's right. G saying everyone's defense has improved, so I feel they can work with him. Yeah, they're gonna figure it out. And nameless speak no evil. All right, speak no evil then. Fiercely saying Coach Jordy resigned from Team Canada. Wow, this is sad. Hopefully, the successor will be someone who will be passionate and take the heart to the mission. Yeah, it is sad, but I appreciate Jordy respectfully doing this because we're coming around the time where we're getting ready for the summer, and we're going to have to start a new cycle for the Olympics. The Olympics were last summer. It's a 4-year cycle, and in some ways, you want that head coach for the whole 4 years, and that's why it was so bad that Nick took off in the middle of those 4 years, and it was really awful. And Jordy jumped in the last 2 years of those 4 years, and he did exemplary. He was fantastic. Well, this is part of the thing. They're asking Jordy now, can you commit to 4 years of this cycle? And right now, the workload with the Nets is probably overwhelming him. And he's saying, I can't do this. I know my limits. And in some ways, I can't do this. I bet you this is exactly why he's resigned because the Nets job is so demanding and him not having summers off is just not appealing to him. So I get it. And I appreciate him being respectful and stepping down right now when it's not chaotic like Nick did, and we'll find a replacement and they're going to be fantastic. Like I said, this job is attractive. This is not a job that people wouldn't want. This job is going to have success laden in it. And in some ways, it's a great professional challenge for a top level coach to take. So I have full confidence that Barrett and Bartlett will find a very fantastic coach to replace Jordy Fernandez. It'll be interesting to see who it is. It'll be interesting. Will it be an NBA type person or will it be a more FIBA type person? Will it be a Canadian guy? Will it be somebody that we already know that's coming back and all of a sudden, hey, wow, you're the new coach of Team Canada? That's cool. We'll have to see. I hope they don't rush the decision and they really, really get somebody who's ready to commit for that 4-year cycle the Olympics are. Yeah, I want to see what happens. Kareem saying, I just want to see what we do at backup center. Orlando Robinson. Just sign him for the rest of the year, Messiah and Bobby. You traded Kelly. Orlando's done a good job. And I think that you guys should just keep him around. He's good enough insurance and depth for at least a third center. If you want to play Mobo at backup center now for the year with Scotty and him as a tag team like the Road Warriors, that's fine. But you might need to get Orlando locked in on that last roster spot after the trade deadline on a rest of the year contract so we can keep him in the fold because he is a valuable young center who's defensively very good. And that's what we need. We need that depth at defensive center. And Orlando is that depth. So just get him. Yeah. Smooth saying, isn't Darko involved with Team Serbia? He is not currently. No, he's not. He has professed that he would love to coach that team at some point in his life, but he understands there's a hierarchy in Serbian basketball, and there may be a couple people in line to get that job before him. But he does have a life goal to coach that team at some point. But no, he's not. He's a consultant for them, but I don't think he's actually officially a part of their staff. Let's see. Monique is saying thank you to Coach Jordy. Yeah, he's the most successful Team Canada coach in the history of Team Canada men's senior basketball. He is. Honestly, to me, he is. I mean, there's old teams that did stuff, but the stuff that they did recently, it just really bringing Canada to rise on FIBA stage in international basketball. And we know that this crop from the Carter effect is what it is. But man, the coach had to do a good job, and I thought Jordy did fantastic at World Cup. The Olympics were tough, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Mischief saying if Raptors don't sign Garrett Temple, 3.3 million, but Chris Boucher, 10.7 million, Kelly Olynyk, 13.4 million, we might have enough to sign Brandon Ingram's $36 million contract. Well, Kelly Olynyk's gone. He's been traded. He's on New Orleans. I don't know how they got to do the books this summer, Jay, but I appreciate your comment. I hope you're doing good, base man. We'll figure it out this summer. I'm sure they will. Jimmy's saying, I like this for Scott having a legit power forward to play beside. It's going to be good for him. Yeah, I don't even know if I slot Ingram at 4. I slot him at 3. I really, really do. I mean, in some ways, it is good because it bumps RJ to the 2 for sure. RJ's been playing anywhere from the 4 to the 2. And, well, if this is the starting lineup we're going forward with, it's IQ and RJ in the backcourt. And I mean, in some ways, it's not totally that because in some ways, if you have Ingram, this is the other luxury. If he's playing 4 with RJ, then Scotty slots in the guard a lot better too. So in some ways, there's a lot of flexibility with Ingram because if he can play either the 4, the 3, that means RJ and Scotty can start playing the 2. or the one, even either one of them. So there's a lot of flexibility in that. And so on the down low with Brandon Ingram on our team in the starting lineup, there's a lot of flexibility. Name was saying, "Okay, I'm being a boyfriend silly here. Ha ha. Thank you, Jordy. Oh, you're being silly. You're being silly. Okay, I think boyfriend silly. What are you, your boyfriend? Is Jordy your boyfriend? No, I'm just kidding. Stargate saying Jerry Stackhouse for Team Canada. I don't mind that fit. It'd be fun. Jerry was just in town recently with the Warriors. Of course, he's an assistant coach for the Warriors, guys. He is in the NBA right now. I don't know, man. I don't know if he'd want to do it. Maybe. He'd probably want that prestige. I'm not against it. Jerry's had success with the 905. And he's been in a lot of different coaching jobs recently. I wouldn't be against it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. That's funny that you put him in there. You're retreading him from coaching hire when Nick Nurse got hired like 7 years ago. Geez. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, "Hey, I like Orlando Robinson. Sign him to a legit deal, and he can be the backup for now." Yeah, exactly. I'm totally all about that. Lakers traded Connect Cam 2031 first round pick and a pick swap for Mark Williams. Well, they needed that starting caliber center, and Coloco wasn't it. So it is what it is. We'll just have to see how the Lake show goes with Luka. Luka seen on the bench with Bronny. Bronny's talking trash to the fans, and Luka's giggling about Bronny talking trash to the fans. Luka's just trying to live life. In some ways, he's got to be like, yeah, this is weird. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, but also I'm goofy, and I just love living life. What do I have to worry about? I make millions of dollars playing basketball, and I have a good life. Yeah, I mean, I get how Luka is right now. Yeah, yeah. Nameless saying, "Damn, you're huge, Lex. What goddamn beanstalk you come down from?" I am 6'5", guys. I'm not a short person. I'm a very big man. And I did play basketball. I come honestly by this knowledge because I did play a lot of basketball when I was young. And, I am trained. There's a reason why I do know how to shoot free throws and do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I have a pretty good wingspan. I'm a good shot blocker. I have good timing. I have a messed up arm from a car wreck, which I can't extend. So I'm a one-armed shot blocker. But, man, I'll block the shit out of people. I have really good timing, and I have a good reach. And, I block people all the time. I love blocking shots. I'm a known shot blocker from my back in the day playing in games. So yeah, I am a beanstalk. That's right. Bryce is saying, Kareem, yeah, you're correct about him being a better defender than Grady. That's true, but it's experience and length and size. Honestly, that's a couple of it. But Grady's gonna get better and better. And I don't want to slight Grady just to prop up Brandon Ingram. But this is true. It's a talent upgrade. It's just a knowledge upgrade. It's a vet upgrade. Bryce is saying, and I would rather have Grady off the bench anyway. He's a future 6-man of the year to me. See, I don't know. I could have seen him growing into being more of a starter role, and he may still get that, guys. Let's not get it twisted. Let's just see how things develop. He's had an up and down like kind of thing with being either bench or 6-man. He's a starter for us this year. He's been a straight up starter. Every game that he's played, pretty much, he's come in and started. He has not been coming off the bench at all when he's healthy. I don't think hardly at all. So we'll have to see what happens with Ingram in some ways. I don't know. We'll have to see. Nothing's carved in stone. We'll just have to see how things go. It could be that we have people in and out of the lineup, so it's a fluid starting five. And sometimes Grady is just that sixth guy that's going to start because somebody's out, which is kind of the pattern with Darko in the last 2 years. So let's see. Bryce is saying, I already read that. Randolph's saying, Lex, I would like to see Jama as the next head coach of Canadian team. That would be a good pick, honestly, because in some ways he's not going to sell out his country. I think that's actually the best choice I've heard so far. You guys said Jerry Stackhouse, but Jama is a fantastic pick. He's Canadian. He's got a high level. He's on the list of aspiring head coaches in the NBA. He's probably going to get that job at some point. He'll be a head coach in the NBA at some point. Maybe he's in that period before he's like that to get to that. I think it'd be a great idea to have him as a coach of Team Canada. He's a perfect kind of candidate. And who knows? Maybe he will be. Maybe he will be. Name was saying Bruce finally got his wish. See via demo. Bruce. Peace out, bro. Yeah, I won't hate Bruce. I'll honor him. He won't be on the same level as Biombo and Olenek and Lou Williams, but he will still be a one-year Raptor. His infamy of cowboy boots and cowboy hats and Timbits. Yeah, Timbits. G saying, are Pelicans keeping Brown and Kelly? Doesn't make sense to me for them to keep them. I think they need Kelly because they don't have a backup center. And as far as Bruce Brown, I have no idea. This was a shed of their salary cap for the summer move. That's their reasoning for why they did this. And also, they need to get rid of Ingram because they were going to lose him for nothing in the summer if they didn't. So this is why they did this. They recouped some stuff for it. The draft picks. Stargate saying again, I'm hearing that this is another Bobby Webster deal, much like the Knicks one last season. That Bobby did this one and it's his whole thing. Yeah, he's the GM. He should be doing it. He's the one who's doing the legwork. He's the one who's doing the phone work. He's talking to them, and then he consults with Masai, and Masai probably gives him a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and they talk about it more deeply. But Bobby's doing most of the legwork. He is the title of GM, and he is the general manager. He's the one who's managing it. So yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying that's an awesome idea, Randolph. You know, it is a really good idea, and I'm going to give Randolph a dunk for a very fantastic idea of putting in Coach Maha Alea as the coach of Team Canada. I love it. I think it just sounds right when you said it just now. In some ways, he's in Canada still with the Raptors, and this would, be convenient in some ways. And he's a Canadian guy, so having a Canadian coach of the Canadian team, and he does seem like out of coaches coming up, one of the rising stars in the NBA to become an NBA head coach in the near future in the next few years. I mean, who knows? Jama could be the coach of the Raptors at some point. I'd have less problems with him sharing both jobs because of his citizenship status as a Canadian. It's really just murky with Nick, and that whole thing went south with the Raptors, and then like the Sixers weren't going to let him coach Team Canada anymore. It's just a strategic bad thing. And that's probably part of why Jordy had to resign yesterday too. Is the Nets probably had pressure on him to do that. So, Jama being an assistant coach for the Raptors, he could probably do it on his workload. Who knows? He'd probably enjoy it very immensely too. I think he's been involved in coaching Team Canada already, at least as an assistant coach somewhere in some places. Yeah. Yeah. Dennis is now in Utah. Yeah. I mean, he said it's like modern day slavery. And now he's been traded to Miami and then traded immediately to Utah from Golden State. How long was he in Golden State? I guess he really didn't work out in Golden State. He's really just there for a second. Why is Dennis getting traded so much like this? I feel bad for the guy. Maybe it's just the type of contract he has is very conducive for being moved around. And that's kind of part of it right there. Yeah. G saying the report is Jordy did step down due to his responsibilities with the Nets and balancing his family. Yeah, that's what I guess. I mean, he's had such a crazy year. When I've seen him in the Nets, when we play them, he looks stressed. He looks like he's a little bit more agitated than ever. Not like with the Team Canada. And he's got a lot on his plate. Being the head coach of an NBA team is a huge responsibility with so much pressure. And he's probably, after having all last summer with us in the Olympics, he's probably burnt out to a degree right now because he didn't get really the summer off. He got the job coming from the Kings and had to establish his Brooklyn staff and then go immediately to coach for Canada all last summer. He's probably very burned out right now. And the idea of having to do Team Canada duties this summer and distracting him away from things is just not appealing. And I get that. I totally get that. He jumped in and was a pinch coach for us in a pinch, and he was fantastic. And I'll always give him credit for that. All right, I'm just going to leave it. All right, you know what? It's coming down for right now. I'm going to put it up more permanently today, just so it works better. All right, let's see. Stargate likes Jama as the Team Canada coach, too. He likes that, too. Yeah, let's see. Smooth saying, Fiercely saying, Bruce's IG story was funny. I guess he took the trade well. Kelly was there 1 year, but unfortunately didn't play too much due to his back. He played a lot for us, actually. That's not totally true. He missed the beginning of the season. But last year, he was healthy for most of the second half of the season and replacing Jakob and playing for us a lot last year. And he's played a good chunk of this season, too. Let's not get it twisted. He didn't sit out most of the time. Emmanuel sat out most of the last year, but not Kelly. Emmanuel sat out a lot of games so far being on the Raptors. Let's see. It's too bad, but it was expected. He didn't help himself with his comments, though, Dennis. I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. He may have caught wind that it was coming up, and that's why he felt emboldened to comment on it because he's just sick of moving his family. I bet that's what it is. That he was feeling the wind blowing that he was going to get traded again with Golden State. So he made that comment, and then boom, it happened. It is what it is. It is what it is. Fiercely saying people making jokes about Dennis being passed around in the league like a blunt or collecting jerseys like Pat Bev. I feel bad for his family constantly moving. So exhausting. Yeah, it's disrespectful. People have been making fun of Dennis in certain ways for a long time, and it's totally unfair. Some of it's really ugly, honestly. I would say that, some people get Dennis like I do, and some people don't, and they just want to make him a butt of the joke, and that's fine. But I respect the Finals MVP of the of the FIBA World Cup and the gold medal winner, Dennis Schroeder, and his accomplishments. I respect him. I do. Let's see. Most saying this game was lopsided to me. The second half was lopsided. The first half was fine, but the second half was a disaster. Fiercely saying Bruce had the most amazing cuts. I'll give him that. All right, let's go do the Instagram stories since you brought up some stories that have happened on Instagram since because of the trades last night. There's a couple reactions by some of the players, and we should go look at them about the trade last night, and we'll see what they're saying. Hang on, let me get back to the spot on here. A little haphazard today. It's Grady first. Grady's got a picture of him with Kelly, and he's got this symbol of the emote and the heart. There's a bond there. I've seen Kelly and Grady coming off the court in games recently, really counseling each other after games and talking. There's a real friendship and stuff like that. This is tough. Grady's had some tough teammates traded in the first 2 years of his career. He's seen so many trades, so he really understands this league as a business. And while Grady was the first one to react to the trade last night, it didn't shock him, but he's showing complete love towards Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown in a picture with him and with the dap. Bruce looking non-enthused in the picture, though. But yeah, there's Grady coming in the game yesterday. I thought he was looking like Bono from like Actung Baby with the sunglasses and the chain, kind of like the Fly Bono with the. That's what he's like. These '90s guys were actually looking like '90s stuff for coming in. Like Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter wore backwards jerseys like crisscross. Gonna make you jump. The Daddy Mac will make you jump. And I thought that was pretty cool that they did a '90s homage with their rookie bags coming in. Jacoby and Jamal wearing backwards jerseys in honor of Chris Cross on 90s night. That's pretty cool. Of course, we had another alley-oop last night. It's in Grady's highlight here. I love the alley-oops. The Raptors are lob city. It's a soft lob city. I like that Grady didn't use a lot of power because you can get hurt if you're trying to slam it too strong. He just kind of guides it up and drops it in and doesn't get his hand caught on the rim or cut or anything like that. Just real easy and don't get hurt is what it is. I'm saying. Let's see. It's 90s night. Grizzlies versus Raptors. Matt Devlin on his Instagram with Alvin Williams. Pretty cool. There's Davion coming in the game with his little hat on, and there's a picture of him with John Morant. So that's kind of cool. I know he liked playing against him. Let's see. There's Superfan Mo breaking the news from Shams last night in the middle of the night about the Brandon Ingram trade on her Instagram stories. I see you, Superfan Mo. Let's see. Who else? We got Toronto Tempo. It's National Women's and Girls in Sports Day today, guys, just so you know, on Toronto Tempo. And there's a nice picture of Jacoby Walter wearing the Black History, Black Voices shirt in the warm-up before. And there's after the game with his family smiling. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to follow out from this trade. Not a whole lot on the Instagram stories. Grady showing thank you and appreciation to Kelly and Bruce on his Instagram. Yeah, very, very interesting. G saying kudos to Bruce. He was a pro, smiled, was a good teammate. He could have made this very difficult. He could have stepped in it. He could have made it more drama. He was absolutely fantastic. And in some ways, I'm really proud of him. And he's a true pro. I'm going to say that. Yeah, Chet is back for our game on Friday. Well, there's timing right there. Chet Homer is going to come back against us with no Jakob Poeltl. This is going to be a tough game against the Thunder on Friday. It'll be fun. We'll see. Fiercely saying, I was distracted during the game because of all the trade news. Also, a legendary producer passed away. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. Yeah, I heard something about that somewhere. Yeah, there was distraction. I'm telling you, everybody was distracted at the beginning of the second half. Fans and the players, and they got off track with the Grizzlies game partly because of this Kyle Anderson stupid shit that happened in the middle of the game. It's so dumb. It wasn't a real trade, and Shams reported it, and when he reports it, people look at it and think it's real. That's irresponsible what he did. Very, very irresponsible. Very, very irresponsible. Wayne saying, or Smooth saying at Fiercey, I'm guessing he might be bought out by Utah. They're bottoming out. I have no idea what's going to happen with Dennis in the next move. We'll just have to see what happens around the league. It's crazy. Dennis has had quite the year, starting out as a net and going all over the place now. Wayne saying, morning Raptor Freaks. Ingram is one of the few players in the NBA that I dislike immensely. However, Once in the Raptors uniform, I will grow to hold my noise. Winning changes attitude. So Wayne is somebody who doesn't really like him. We'll have to see if Wayne has affinity for him because he brings success to the Raptors. And that's what Sergeant Wayne's saying. He's not going to be like, whatever. He's got to go with what we're doing with the front office. And he's got an open mind to it. I appreciate that about Wayne. And you know what? I'm going to give him a dunk for this because this is the right kind of attitude. If you're not totally enthusiastic about this deal, this is the right attitude. You just wait and see how it goes. And maybe you'll like it more and more as time goes on. Fiercely saying that Reggie, it would make sense to see what happens, but it was such a weird journey for someone who's a world MVP. Well, that stuff doesn't totally translate to the NBA world, obviously. G saying Ingram in an interview said Toronto was one of his favorite cities, Zion too. For me personally, that matters. Maybe a good motivator to a player to love where they live. No, it matters. You want to be somewhere where you want to be. And it's obvious some people have not wanted to be in Toronto in the past in our history. And some people have really enjoyed and wanted to be here. Amir Johnson. Yeah. So, hey, this is a good sign that he likes the city and he wants to be here. Smith saying that fiercely, if he is bought out, look for Detroit to get him. They need a point guard. Okay. Dennis is going to be in Detroit all of a sudden. Maybe he didn't need to get rid of that Toronto place because he could actually be staying out of there then. Anyway, I feel bad for Dennis. Kareem saying, didn't Ingram only play for the Lakers besides the Pelicans? I think he was part of the AD trade, and that speaks volumes. That's right. That's actually right. I think you're right. I thought he had played for multiple teams, but maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just thinking about this. All right, let's go look. This will be only his third team, so he hasn't been kind of traded around too much. Yeah, you're right. He was on the Lakers for like 3 years, and he's been on the Pelicans for like 5 years now. So, okay. That then in some ways, that doesn't totally say, okay, he's been a problem. I mean, the Lakers did give up on him earlier, but that was to get AD. And then, like, in some ways, it looked like for a while on the Pelicans that like they got the better of the deal for a little bit there because AD was hurt so much. I remember that period of time. And this will be only his third team. Okay. You know what? That's actually good. Not being on a lot of teams like Dennis Schroeder is kind of a good sign that, like, okay, I see this. I see this. Most saying, I like the Brandon Ingram news. I also like this for Scotty too, Jimmy. Yeah, I hope Scotty enjoys this. I mean, he had to have signed off at some level. G saying RJ drives the net relentlessly, and now when he gets out, he can get it to multiple players, including Ingram. This allows RJ to cut more too. I think it can work well. Well, that is who I want him to work the best with. I want Barrett and Ingram to work well with each other because I value RJ on our team, and I don't want it to be some point in the next 2 years we're deciding between Barrett and Ingram, and it's really a tough choice. And somehow RJ's not on our team. Seriously, I highly value RJ being a Raptor for as long as possible. And I will pick him over everybody else. I'm sorry. It's just like that. In some ways, seeing one of our Toronto guys go to New Orleans, it hurts a little bit right now. And I'm telling you right now, even though RJ's only been on our team for a year, if we moved him at any point, I'd be upset. I'd be very, very upset because I like this Toronto connection. I really, really do. I really, really do. Nako's saying, trust him aside, but I hope there's no more trades. Yeah, I hope there's no more trades too. I'm shocked that they actually did it, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. We got the final thing with Bruce Brown and the Raptors, and well, we've been waiting for it for a while. Smooth saying it fiercely. I just saw that Utah does not intend on keeping Dennis. They will trade him again, barring that a buyout. Okay. Well, maybe he will end up on the Pistons very soon. Jimmy saying Scott plays the 3 and RJ goes to 2. It helps both of them. See, I still think Scotty's the second biggest player, so technically he's the 4 with Brandon in them there because Brandon's like a skinny 3. He's like a long 3. I don't know. Can Brandon Ingram guard Zion Williamson? That's what I'd ask you. Scotty can't. So that's the thing. That's the thing right there. It's kind of sometimes where they line up defensively against 2 on the other side. And Scotty to me is a 4 because he's always the second biggest guy on the court, usually on defense. He hopefully is not the biggest because if it's the biggest, we're in trouble for rebounding. In trouble for that. Yeah. Nako saying, and Ingram can start building chemistry with the team early. I don't mind the timing at all. Yeah, even if he's sitting on the bench and in street clothes, he's getting to know the culture. He can kind of get an orientation. He can feel the personalities on the team, the hierarchy of leadership, and, get with it. I'm sure, what? The other thing we need to talk about on the down low, he's played with Garrett Temple, guys. He's played with Garrett. Garrett was in New Orleans with him in the 5 years he's been there. So he's familiar with Garrett, and Garrett probably knows Brandon very, very well, and that's going to help. That's going to help because uh, Garrett Temple was on the Pelicans with him. So that's another ace up our sleeve that we need to think about. If there's any kind of orientation that he needs, well, here's the perfect vet that knows him already, has a relationship with him to get him acclimated to being a Raptor, Garrett Temple. So I think that's good. I think that's a good thing right there. Wayne saying it. Brandon publicly said he wants to play for Toronto. I'm instantly a fan. You have always been glowing about Ingram, Lex. You should be happy. Ingram is a quality player, I will admit. I like him. I like his personality in some ways. I think that in some ways his aloofness, I mean, I'm a cannabis head. In some ways, I can see my own kind. I can tell. And I get on him for it because in some ways I don't totally agree with doing that too much or if you're a professional athlete. But if it's a way he winds down and he takes time to heal his body, I can totally understand. But yeah, I like Ingram. I've always liked him as a player and what he's able to do. I'm going to be optimistic about it, but I'm going to be guarded and not over the moon about it like some people are and just expect this and this. I'm going to be guarded and allow things to happen the way they're supposed to, with a possible disappointment allowed, with also fantastic exuberance for great things happening also. So somebody's saying attempt to trade him. Okay, you guys are doing a lot of crosstalk today, specifically y'all two in between you. That's fine. That's fine. In some ways, I will not read anything that has an at in front of it, just so y'all know. Because in some ways, it's you guys talking to each other, and that's fine. Maybe that'll be my cue. If there's an at the front, I won't read it. Okay. I got confused with Kyle Anderson. What was that? Laugh out loud. Well, Mo was at the game. So she didn't see all the online stuff. She's busy at the game, and she had no idea that at halftime, Shams tweeted that the Raptors had acquired Kyle Anderson. He just straight up said it, and he didn't say anything about what we traded. So I was investigating in it because he's such a reliable source for news. Kyle Anderson did get traded at that moment to Miami from Golden State in the Jimmy Butler deal. And they were saying that as part of the deal, like Dennis got rerouted to Utah, that Kyle Anderson was rerouted to Toronto. But it was not, it was a part of the deal that was talked about. It was on the table, but it didn't get finalized. But Shams put it out there as part of it, and Blake Murphy was reporting it. It was a mess. They really kind of were not credible people last night. It was annoying. In some ways, they needed to do their due diligence. And I was trying to do my due diligence to figure out what was involved in the trade to see if the Raptors traded anyone. Well, I'm sure that the Raptors were doing the same damn thing at halftime on their phones instead of getting ready with their minds for the third quarter, Monique. So part of the reason why the Raptors played so bad in the second half is because this trade rumor was over their head on all of a sudden out by Shams with the timing during halftime during our game last night. It's so messed up. And within like 5 minutes of the third quarter, it came out that it was debunked and it was not true. And then we saw the players focus way better after that. They got back into the game then. They were completely distracted by this in the game in the third quarter. Seriously, fiercely saying it smooth. If he goes to Detroit, joining other vets like Hardaway, Harris, Beasley, and Cunningham, they will be a tough team. Yeah. Detroit's been rolling pretty good, and Schroeder will help them. He will definitely help them. Ivy's injury has been tough this season, but Schroeder can help fill that void. G saying RJ 6'6", Ingram 6'8", Scotty 6'9", Yak 7 foot. Not too shabby. Vision 6'9" is back. It's not truly Vision 6'9", but having RJ slotted at guard is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. Especially with point of attack defenders like Shed and Davion off the bench to help, just in case we need to be a little bit smaller and quicker to defend out there. Because RJ, in some ways he can play guard on offense and defense. How is he going to guard the other guard on the other side? We'll have to see. Scotty's a plus defender who can guard anybody, so maybe he comes out there and RJ gets the small forward still on defense. But on offense, he's playing more of a two guard role. So we'll have to see. RJ's threes have looked pretty good lately, so there's no problem with that. Mo saying, right, super fan Mo, that Kyle Anderson news was weird. Wondering why it got fumbled, but it's not coming back. Super slow-mo, short release running, no thank you. I was actually interested in the idea of Kyle Anderson being on the Raptors. I was not against it. I was actually visualizing him on the team and thinking about it. He's a funny player. He's weird. It would have been great for the Chinese community in Toronto, but it didn't happen. Alas, he's still a Miami Heat player. In some ways, I think that this was an add-on deal that could have helped with absorbing some of the money that Miami, it would have helped Miami, and we would have used an exception. But I think that in some ways they realized they would be helping the Raptors in some ways that they didn't need to. and they may not have decided to do it all the way through, or maybe they decided they do want Kyle Anderson in Miami, because that's really the decision there. They could have shipped him here and shed more, and we could have absorbed his contract on our salary cap, but they decided not to do that. So I'm thinking that they do value having him in Miami to play, and that's what it was, because they could have done this. That deal was on the table, but they didn't execute it, and somebody said they did. It's so stupid. All right, Nako wants me to scout Abdi Bashir Jr. This was somebody we talked about yesterday, and I said I'd do it, so we'll do it now. All right, let's see. Abdi is okay. Let's see. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page, which sometimes that's not a bad thing. It just means he's not known enough yet. He's a guard, and he is from Omaha, Nebraska. That's interesting. He went to high school in Arizona though, and he plays for Monmouth. Monmouth? CAA? What is Monmouth? Monmouth. That's got to be a smaller school. That's interesting. So he's not playing for a big school. That's part of it. All right, let's go look at him on the tube and see what he looks like in action. Abdi. Abdi. No. Abdi Bashir Jr. Okay. Interesting. Monmouth. He's a guard, he looks like. He looks like he's a guard, guys. All right, early season highlights. We'll look at that. Okay. How he scores. Spot up. This is weird. Why is this angle so bad? It's so far out. I can't see him. That's weird. All right, fix this. All right, it's going to switch angles, right? Okay, there we go. That's better. I can't see it from the first part. All right, he's shooting the three. He shot that from way out. He's got an interesting action on his shot. He's taller than a guard. He looks like he's about 6'6" or 6'7". I'm not sure how tall he is. I didn't say anything on the sheet that I just saw, so it's really difficult for me to have information on him because it didn't have it on the basketball reference. I don't know why I didn't have it. Okay, he's got a little turnaround. He's got a long body. It's interesting. His three's a little bit of a chuck shot. It's the mechanics are weird. I don't totally like the three the way he shoots it. He chucks it, but he makes it. He's an active player. He gets after the ball. There he is again. Okay. Shooting the three. I don't know. You guys are saying this guy's a second round, possibly. He seems like he's got a really good wingspan. He's got a nice NBA frame. It seems like he's got some handles. He's got a nice little dribble there to get around the defender. What is his position that he plays? Is he because he could be a forward or a guard. He's probably a shooting guard. He's probably a swing. He's not a point guard, right? He's a transition scorer. So he can do a little bit of Oshai Abaji attacking the rim and laying shots up. Okay. Yep. All right. I don't know, man. In some ways, he doesn't seem like the right position as far as like I want a 4 or 5. But thanks for bringing me Abdi Bashir Jr. of Monmouth. I don't know what position he plays. Is he a swing? He looks like a swing to me. Raycon's here. What a day to be alive. Good Raptors morning. Raycon, good morning to you, man. We're getting back to our big man lineup. There you go. All right. Brandon Ingram is a big plus. Thumbs up for Raycon. Good to see you, Raycon. Fiercely saying some Miami fan at courtside told Tyler Hero and Kevin Love about the Butler trade. That was messed up. Yeah, I saw that footage of the fan telling the Miami Heat players on the bench the trade in the middle of the game. And this is the stuff Steve Kerr's talking about. That, these trades are happening during games while people are playing, and they're distraction. They were a distraction for the Raptors last night. And in some ways, that was malfeasance. That's really irresponsible. We're trying to focus on a game, and Shams is dropping Shams bombs that aren't true, and our players are getting distracted during the game. That shit happens, seriously. Hopefully they didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they didn't have any idea, but I feel like they did. And that somebody was telling them something, and they were in their heads, and they weren't actually in the game, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Let's see. Mo's saying, I was on the bus when the news dropped about Brandon Ingram going home from the game. There you go. You were up. Yeah, you were still up. It was like a quarter to midnight is when it happened. It was quarter to midnight. I didn't realize it until round 1, though, because I was not on. I was watching something, and I didn't check online until then. So let's see. Seymour saying, thanks, Nako. I'm pushing for Abdi Bashir as a second-round pick. He's got a nice wingspan. He's an athlete, and he seems like he's got an okay 3-point stroke. We'll see. We'll see. I want to see him as a defensive player. He'd be good. Seymour saying, "I'm happy Slow-Mo ain't on our team." So you're happy he's not on our team too. Common Crazy saying, "No swearing Thursday. Happy to get Bi." Okay, Common Crazy is giving a thumbs up to the Brandon Ingram trade, and Seymour's getting a salute from Nako. Raycon saying, "Now get a Rashir Fleming or a Kamal Malak." I like Malak. Fleming was okay. We looked at him too. Isaac saying, "Normally I agree with Steve Kerr, but I think the rules should be all trades can only be announced during Laker games." You know what, Isaac? You just come up. Every once in a while, benevolent Isaac Campbell will come in and just drop something benevolent on us, and he has done it once again today. And that's a funny joke. So, Isaac, you're going to get a dunk. You haven't been around a whole lot because I know you've been busy, but I'm going to give you a dunk, and it's your second one of the year. 6 points for Isaac, his second dunk of the year. That's awesome, man. I love that. I like that rule. All trades should happen, and they should announce them over the PA system and make holographic images of them run on the court, whoever got traded during the game, so they confuse players on the court and thinking that a hologram is there, and they maybe pass it to them, and it goes out of bounds. That's what I want to see. That's right. Triple barbecue. Yeah, I don't know. Ingram is a BI. He's not really a B. He's an I. So it's like a BBQ, BBQ I yak. I barbecue yak. I barbecue yak. I yak barbecue. Does that mean like you went to the cookout and you ate too much and you yak barbecue? I yak barbecue. It's not barbecue yak, Dick. There's got to be something else. Barbecue yak BI? What does BI stand for? At least it's not BM. I don't know. We're going to have to figure this out. You guys could maybe make it BBBBQ yak with the Brandon, with Barrett and Barnes. I don't know. That's first name, though. I don't know. How does this work? I yak barbecue? Triple barbecue? I don't know. Seymour saying, best Raptor to wear number 14, Joey Graham. No, that's not true. The best Raptor to wear 14 is Muggsy Bogues, the shortest player to ever play in the history of the Raptors. But you know what? He's just been surpassed recently by Jacoby Walter. Jacoby Walter is now the best Raptor ever wear 14, in my opinion. Joey Graham is not better than Muggsy Bogues, and he is not better than Jacoby Walter already. So I'll say that. Talking about 14s and the Raptors. Monique is saying, so funny moment last night. Scotiabank Arena staff put a whole box of Sprite at the back of my chair because no one wanted it. That looked like some funky retro Sprite that they had. They were giving out because Sprite Zone was in effect, and they had all kinds of giveaways last night. And Monique got a whole pack. I saw it in the picture on your Facebook of the huge thing of Sprite that you had there, Monique. That's awesome. That Sprite's going to taste so good. That's Raptors retro Sprite from 90s night. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we're saying Reggie Jackson got traded to the Washington Wizards. Mr. October got traded to Washington. Oh my gosh. Reggie, I thought you're talking about Reggie Jackson. Never mind. G saying Sixers trade Reggie Jackson, a future first-round pick for Jared Butler and 4 second-round picks. Why was a first-round pick? Is this a story? Is this actually important, guys? Come on. Is this actually important? I don't think this is important. Sixers tanking or what? I have no idea. I don't care. We'll see them next week. I'll scout them next week. Stargate saying, last night was a great film game for Scotty to watch. Needs to look at how JJJ got into the lane and hook shops you to death. That's what Scotty needs to do. Get within 10 foot and jump hook. Yeah, it's a good matchup. You know, he was frustrating Jaren a little bit himself. It was a very good matchup. Scotty versus Jaren Jackson. Both games this season, it's like Scotty's taking that challenge. But yeah, Jaren has got size on him a little bit, and he's got a little bit more experience. But it's an interesting matchup, and I think Scotty plays him pretty well toe to toe. There, you know, you're not going to able to stop him totally, and he'll stop you a bit. But vice versa is happening too, where Scotty was able to kind of stop him, and he was able to score over him too with a turnaround over him at 1.2. So Seymour saying Cooper Flag is a 76ers jersey and as American as apple pie. Don't say shit like this. We don't want this to happen. We do not want the Sixers to get the number 1 pick in the draft. We do not want that. Stargate saying Cooper is going to the Bulls. Book it. That's why they got their pick back. The Bulls, the Wizards. Those are the 2 spots I think he's going to. He could be a Wizard, guys. He fits the Wizards the best. The Wizards are the worst team in the league in some ways. Then Flag on Washington, that just totally makes sense, right? Most saying 70 family and friends were there for Zach Edey because I met one of them. Cool. They told you. It was like, yeah, there's 70 of us here. The big man's got a big family, and we are all here tonight. Zach Edey's family was there, huh? Cool. Stargate saying the NBA is setting it up perfectly to make it look like it's going to be an organic thing, but it ain't. But it ain't. What are you talking about? Oh, Cooper? Well, we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it goes. I think the Luca thing is very easily to see through. There's some things that are happening that are very easy to see through with the NBA. And we'll see how the draft goes with Cooper Flag and where he lands and whether it seems like a Patrick Ewing or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour saying, what part of the city is Edie from? He's from Leaside. He's from East York, as G has answered there. And he knows because G's living around that area himself, I believe. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying, thank you, G. Seymour saying, I think I played against Leaside and Metros back in the day, Eastern Commerce. Yeah. Nako saying, City Sisseko has been waived by the Wizards. Yeah, I heard about that. Sisseko was one of the picks the Raptors used to get Pirtle. Man, that's confusing. In some ways, you guys are talking about nitpicky little moves like the Philly move and City getting waived. I don't care about this shit. This is small potatoes. I can't use my time on my stream for this. And I'm at 215. Bucks got Jericho Sims. That's another piddly move. They said they were going to trade Jericho Sims no matter what, and they did. They traded him to Milwaukee, and guess who's going to New York? That's the part I care about, guys. Yeah, it's a Raptors channel, guys. We talk Raptors here. And talk Dennis, talk Brandon Ingram, talk DeLon Wright going to the New York Knicks. In some ways, that's an upgrade for them. In some ways, we were just talking about with Milbester that they won't be able to get really any names or anything. Well, they got DeLon Wright for Jericho Sims, a big man who's not really fulfilled his potential in his years recently. He's not been a good player for the Knicks, honestly. And they got a solid bench player in DeLon Wright. And once again, I'll say Milwaukee's an idiots. And I don't know what the fuck they're thinking or doing. Getting Kuzma now, and now Jericho Sims, a couple of knuckleheads on their team with Giannis. Are they really valuing having Giannis? Because you're putting knuckleheads on the team with him. And your good, solid guys like Chris Middleton and DeLon Wright are going on other teams all of a sudden. That's weird, man. Kudos to DeLon Wright. He's joining his old teammate, OG Anunoby, and reunited in New York. So we got these old Raptors combos coming back around. Precious did not play with DeLon, but OG did. And OG and DeLon are very good friends. And having DeLon Wright on the Knicks all of a sudden is good for OG. Not to mention, Sacramento is reunited JV with DeMar DeRozan. Jonas Valanciunas did not go to the Lakers. He did not go to the Spurs. He did not go to Golden State. He went to the Sacramento Kings. And he's now a teammate once again with DeMar DeRozan. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Not only that, he gets to share the front court with his countryman, Domantas Sabonis, a very, very close friend of his from playing on the Lithuanian team for many years. So Jonas Valanciunas is a Sacramento King and a teammate of DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Domantas Sabonis now. That's a very interesting move there. So I like the Raptors reuniting in different places, New York and Sacramento. We'll talk about that. I don't need to talk about all this other stuff because that stuff's not important to me. It was not Raptors related in some ways. That's what I'm saying. Stargate saying, you know what? I'm changing my mind about this Ingram trade by the minute. I'm slowly starting to like it. Anything that has the hockey folks angry, I'm all for it. They're fuming after this trade. Yeah, listen, people just want the Raptors to be bad and wallow in continual badness. It's not going to happen. We are a successful organization with very capable, smart people doing jobs, and we are going to get better and better all the time. People that are trying to sink us in the mud and make us horrible over and over again, fuck you. The people that wish for that or want for that or add to the noise around our team on social media that think that they can add to problems for our team. Yeah, y'all shut up. And if the right people are mad and Stargate's happy, there you go. There you go. Man, the hockey-centric sports media are stomping around like a spoiled child after this basketball trade. I love it. Well, in some ways, it doesn't fit their narratives. Masai and Bobby aren't good. The Raptors can't get good talent on their team. There's a lot of narratives that people want to espouse and make true to reality, but it's not true. We can get good talent. Masai got Kawhi before, didn't he? Well, he got Ingram last night. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, people going to get mad about that? Yeah, we're laughing about it. That's right, Raekwon. That's right, Raekwon. All right, where am I on the chat? Holy crap, I am way behind, and I'm going to have to get going. Ingram trade will work. He believes in it. Nako's saying, also, this is the best passing group Ingram has ever played with. Our system can turn him into a better player. This is a great comment by Gerald. He's exactly right. In some ways, he may flourish in this in certain ways because of the passes and the assists he's getting from other people. That's a great comment, Gerald. You know what? I'm gonna give you a dunk for it. That's very astute observation by Naco the Nacho, and he's exactly right. This should actually very much happen. Fourth dunk of the year for you, Gerald. You're at 12. At 12. Raycon saying we wouldn't give up a first to be not be able to sign Ingram to at least 2-year deal and have his bird rights. Yeah, and we have his bird rights. Yeah, yeah. Masai's not an idiot. You think? What do you think? He's going to rent him for a half a year and trade a first round pick? No, he's not stupid. Carlos saying Ingram trade will work. They have assurance from Brandon's side. Probably have a deal already in place. I agree with that. Cut off. Thank you for cut off, guys. Fiercely saying I read somewhere Brandon took some girl to his crib and she was pushing to have some fun. He sent her back home because he had to train. If that's a true story, that shows dedication to his craft. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And Fierce's like, the banner fell behind you again. I know the tape's not sticking. It's been like minus 20 out here, and the tape just doesn't want to hang on the wall when it's cold out here. So yeah, I'll fix it afterwards permanently. Monique saying, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Brandon Ingram have a great relationship with Jerry Stackhouse? I have no idea. I don't know why that would matter in this. Like Stackhouse is in Golden State, and in some ways, I don't know where Brandon Ingram would have crossed paths with Jerry. Jerry was at Vanderbilt. I don't think they've ever been in each other's periphery. So I've never heard of this. So if you've heard about this, I've never heard about it, but I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. He went to Duke, and Jerry Stackhouse went to UNC. So that is a big no, Monique. That tells you enough right there. There's a Duke family versus UNC family. Yeah, they're probably not close. They probably don't know each other. It says Duke versus UNC. I'm telling you right now, it's not like that. It's not like that. There's a rivalry, a huge rivalry, and Duke family doesn't necessarily get along with UNC family. Let's just put it that way. And Ingram's Duke family, and Jerry Stackhouse is UNC family. Just so you know. Carlos saying, I bet you Masai and Bobby have some measurables where it hits that they decided to be buyers. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. They had an interview with Antonio Davis on the Smith and Jones podcast last week. I listened to it. It was fantastic. And Antonio Davis, former Raptor All-Star, is now the head of the NBA Players Alumni Association. And he's in charge of representing all the former players and getting their benefits and things worked out and looking out for them like a union leader. And well, Davis was talking about one of the things he doesn't necessarily like about today's game is that so many basketball decisions that are done and whether who gets to play or what plays they decide to use is all by metrics. And then he feels like the metrics and the looking at the analyzing of numbers to figure out basketball theory and what they should do on the court is losing some of the feel of the game for decision making by the coaches by making them more likely to go by the analytics instead of by their gut and by old school kind of coaching mentality. He feels like the analytics are taking over too much. And that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing to think about how the game's changing with analytics taking more and more of the decision making away from the coaches. It's kind of weird, man. Name is saying, you guys are funny. You remind me of Bitcoin maximalists. There can only be one, RJ or BI. No, to me, I want to see them fit. But if they're Duke Blue Devils and they like each other, then it'll be easier. I just don't want any kind of weird rivalry like some shit. I'm traumatized from Vince and Tracy McGrady and that bullshit that happened at that time. And I don't want to see any of those kind of situations happen again right now. In some ways, it's a very easy place for Raptor haters to try and pull apart. Start to say Scotty and Pascal can't be on the same team. Scotty and Fred can't be on the same team. That kind of bullshit like they did. And I don't want that kind of situation to organically develop with Brandon Ingram on our team with anybody who's already on the team, is what I'm basically saying right now. So we'll have to see. Seymour saying, Nameless, I think they play different positions, so it should be okay. I feel like Brandon and RJ play the same position. They're close. They're very, very close to the same position. Maybe RJ's a 3-2 and Brandon's a 3-4. But yeah, I feel like they're both in that 3 spot. That 3 spot. But if RJ's gonna play 2, then it'll work. It'll work. We'll make it work. Name was saying, let's stay patient, positive, and watch how Darko shows us they can both coexist. I'm totally with you on that, and that's what we should do. That's the mature thing to do as a Raptors fan, and everybody's doing anything else and being crazy and stuff like that, well, that's your own energy. You go ahead. You go ahead. Monique said, W stream, W vibes. Despite the outcome, keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Crew strong forever. Go Raptors. Limit comments. Just helping Lex out. I appreciate you, Mo. You are a huge help. You're a huge help. And you are a fighting spirit in the Raptors fandom world and just a beacon of positivity and awesomeness in all kinds of ways. Let's see. Seymour saying RJ at the 2, Ingram at the 3 or 4. Yeah, I think RJ's going to be at the 2 with this trade last night. I think so. Carlos saying RJ at the 2 is probably his true position. I don't know if it's his true position. I mean, it's good because 6'6" at that position is a good height. It's a good height. Yeah. RJ at 2, Ingram at 3, Barnes at 4. That's the way I look at it. Carlos saying, I hope Boucher takes a pay cut to stay here. He might. He might. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it works, how it all fits in the summer. We won't get ahead of ourselves. Day at a time, one day at a time, present in the moment right now. And that's what we're doing. Boss Takes saying, would you trade Garrett? No, I don't see why we'd have to. He's like, his contract's very small. And he's not necessary for like filling out trades. He might have been involved in a trade around this deadline. I did hear him involved in some trade rumors, but I was like, what's the point? He has a certain role on our team that we value, and he may not be totally valued around the league as much as we value him right now. And I don't know. In some ways, I don't think trading Garrett makes any sense because he's been a very stable, good leader for our young core on our team, and that's been something important. So I wouldn't trade him, Boss Take. No, I wouldn't. Name is saying, laugh out loud. Yes, bro, we needed Brandon. We have virtually 0 mid-range shot creators on this roster. I don't think that's true. Scotty creates mid-range. I mean, Manuel and Grady can dribble to the spot to get mid-range. You know, RJ has a turnaround in the post. He can do a little bit of mid-range shot. There's mid-range guys out there, but maybe not as capable and talented as Brandon and his accomplishments in that role. Scotty really is just starting to scratch the surface on his mid-range turnarounds and things he's doing right now. He's just starting to scratch the surface. He could be more like Brandon very soon in like how he converts from mid-range very, very soon. Raycon saying, and we don't have anyone that can drive to the net effectively. I don't agree with that. I think we had quite a few guys. Once again, I will say RJ's very effective at driving to the net. I think Emmanuel, if he gets a first step around a guy, he gets the net. I think Davion's been showing ability to burst and get to the net past people very well. And Shed is also. So I can't agree with this. I can't agree with this. These guys can get around people with quick first steps. They've been doing it. Seymour saying mid-range shooter, Dick gives it time. Net attacker, RJ give it time. But Ingram is an upgrade. It's a talent upgrade. Our team is better as of this. Yeah, yes, you can. Okay, thank you, Mo. I'm going to put that picture up in the community so everybody can see you with Muggsy and Tracy Murray, original three-point shooter for the first Raptors team 30 years ago. Really cool to see Tracy. AC Earl was at the game last night also, another original Raptor. Yeah, really cool to see the old Raptors come back and be around the team on a 90s night last night. That's awesome. Raycon saying Ingram can solve that issue and make RJ cut a little more instead of always trying to box his way to the net. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be another threat out there that's going to get attention, and those kind of things always make it easier for other people around. It's when you don't have enough talent on there, they can really focus on the one talented guy on your squad. That's the problem. Then you have a really hard time. So Scotty having RJ, Emmanuel, and Brandon around, that's a lot of people to try and have to cover. And some easier open shots are going to be happening for people in different places because of it. And I'm totally with that. Yeah. Name is saying Grady will get there eventually, but he's different than Ingram and not nearly at the same level right now. Yeah, he's a second-year player. Brandon Ingram's been in the league for, 7, 8 years now? Boss Takes saying, and Masai we trust. I like that. Slug Deezy saying, I wonder how RJ fits long-term now. His salary might need to be moved to resign Brandon, and we have Grady and Jacoby waiting to take over as shooting guard. That's what I'm talking about. I worry about all that. I value RJ. In some ways, I want to pick him to go in the future, long-term with Scotty. I think that they have a natural chemistry that's very good. And, if Brandon doesn't have that natural chemistry and we have to choose between Brandon and RJ, I want to pick RJ, not just because he's a hometown, but because he has proven chemistry with Scotty that's really good. And I don't want to trade him if we have to choose. I want to trade Brandon further afterwards if it's like that. Wayne saying Orlando Robinson's skill set as a center doesn't work well with Darko's system. Kelly's departure might give him a short-term unguaranteed contract, nameless, XRP is it. Sorry, Lex went rogue with nameless. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I didn't see it. If you guys blocked it all out, that's fine. It's all good. I mean, you guys, we're not always all going to agree. I just ask that let's treat each other with respect and let's not name call and let's just like agree to disagree. And if there's a little bit of a debate, that's fine. It's healthy. It should be happening. But yeah, I think it's an interesting take. You don't think Orlando fits with the system. Well, in some ways, there's some things that he does that's very helpful, but I get it. It's because he's not a hub and he's not able to pass like Kelly or Yak. In that ways, he can't be that kind of way. Maybe that's part of the problem why he's getting short staffed on minutes. But still, he's got a value in his role that we need desperately. And that's what I would say. Maybe we are going to get another center. Who knows? Maybe Frank Kaminsky's coming up, y'all. Maybe Frank Kaminsky will get the call up from the 905 and he will replace Kelly as that backup passing center because he's been doing that for the 905 on the down low the last couple months. So it could very well be, if Orlando Robinson is not reinvested in tomorrow on the end of his second 10-day contract, that they call up Frank Kaminsky and put him on a 10-day, even though he is not a good defensive center, but he is a good offensive passing center like Kelly was. So he would be like him. So it's crazy. Guardian saying Raps have a very solid team moving into next season. I agree. We've got a lot of young talent that's getting a lot of great development experience right now. And we just added a very, very good offensive player. Stargate saying Scotty needs to take a page out of JJJ's book in the lane, jump hook in the lane, jump hook in the lane. I think somebody made this comment already about him watching JJJ and being more like it. Yeah, I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a great player. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great players Scotty can fashion himself after. I like the two old Spurs and Kawhi and Tim Duncan personally. Guardian saying Team Canada, Nick Nurse will need a job after Sixers fire him. You want to get Nick Nurse back in there? No, if Nick gets fired, a lesser team will hire him too. He'll keep having a job. He's got time. He's got enough with his acumen that even if the Sixers didn't work out, he will go and get another job after this. Watch. He will. Seymour saying Jamal McGlure, Lou Will is a joke. Okay. Lou Will? Lou Will? Not Lou Williams. You mean Will Lou. Will Lou is a joke. Lou Williams is awesome. 6-man? Come on now. Guardian saying, I want to see the Raps keep Mitchell. I do too. Smooth saying, I think the Dennis stuff, especially with the fans, their perception is that he's making millions. Yes, he's moving around, but he can afford to stay in 5-star places wherever he goes. That's just the reality of it, in my opinion. Yeah, but Antonio Davis on Smith and Jones this week had a really good point. You guys don't understand the costs that are incurred for NBA players all over the place. Like they're paying life costs like travel and move and rental and hotels and so much stuff. And you might be shocked. Antonio Davis made it like this. All right. First of all, there's an amount of their $1 million contracts that goes to taxes that nobody talks about. And then Antonio Davis was talking about how the new NIL, some of these young players in college are making a huge amount of money, but they don't understand the tax code. And they're finding out after they go and make all this money that they're paying huge amounts of taxes they had no idea. And if they were recklessly spending, they get put in the hole. And this is part of the issue. If you're not financially smart, you can lose money. And Antonio Davis was talking about this a lot. He said, yeah, sure, we make millions of dollars. We have tons of money, but people don't understand just how much costs we incur also. You got to understand, yeah, we have big families. We have a lot of people we're trying to support. We're taking care of people. We're going back to our old communities and we're spending on businesses and employing like 50 or 100 people in some places. Some of this NBA money gets swallowed up real quick. And yeah, it's huge. And people would love to have that chunk of money. But also at the same time, Antonio Davis is trying to let people know the NBA players lose a lot of money and spend a lot of money. And you'd be shocked at just how much they go through financial straits after their playing career because of money mismanagement. So that's part of what Davis is trying to do is educate the players a little bit more on the history of the game and also on financial smarts post-career with using your earnings to last your whole life. Because there's some players that didn't get the money like on the big, huge level that are destitute after their playing careers because they gave it all away. A good example is Manute Bol. Manute Bol gave almost his entire fortune that he earned from the NBA in the 80s and 90s back to his country of Sudan to help the infrastructure and the people there of the Dinka tribe. And he died very poor when he died. He had hardly any money at that point. So, I mean, it's a weird thing. You got to think about Dennis. Dennis moved 4 times now. What are the costs incurred on him to move his family comfortably and rent places and get rents? And how many places is he renting right now? Is the place in Toronto closed? Is the place in Brooklyn still open? Is the place in Golden State is obviously still open? And what the hell is going to happen with Utah? Not probably anything. He's going to wait, and then maybe he's going to go to Detroit and have to get another place. There's a lot of cost to it. I know these guys make a lot of money, but it is what it is. Let's see. Smooth saying, if he wants stability, he should play in Germany, or he stay in Germany, play in one of their leagues. His wife might be happy with that. Yeah, but what are you telling this guy? He's in the best league in the world, the NBA, as perceived by most people. And he wants to be the best in the best of the world. He's a competitor. He has to be here. And that's just what it is. I mean, that's an easy out. Maybe he could be like Yuta and say at one point, yeah, I'm sick of this. I'm going to go home and be with my wife and live my life in Japan. And that's what Yuta said. Well, Dennis is a higher level player than Watanabe, and he is playing in the prime of his career right now. So in some ways, you got to think about the years that he has still and playing at the highest level. So yeah, turning his back on the NBA to go back to Germany, that's not in the cards. That's not in the cards. Until they tell him he can't play no more, then maybe he'll go over there. Yeah, Stargate saying Ingram can come here and walk in a Ganja house, with no backlash or judgment. Of course, he'll love it here. It is true. The stigma around cannabis is much different than the parishes of Louisiana, than the province of Ontario. It's very true. He's less stigmatized, and in some ways, he'll be legally doing things, unlike in New Orleans. So yeah, that's true. Guardians saying Scotty best suited at the 4 with his defense. Yeah, well, that's the position he's playing. He's Tim Duncan playing. Yeah, Shaq Lindsey's here. Let's see what Shaq Lindsey's saying. People don't understand that goal is to acquire enough talent to reshape our roster. I always thought that we needed a Chris Boucher type in the starting lineup. Brandon Ingram allows Dick to come off the bench to be a spark plug. Also, don't forget, we have draft picks in this and in next year to acquire more talent then. There you go, Shaq Lindsey. Good comments. Yeah, our team is more talented today than it was yesterday. It's just the damn truth. Those ugly ass moves by beloved Team Canada player Kelly Olynyk are off our team. That weirdness of the undersized power forward of Bruce Brown is off our team. And now we got Kobe Bryant in a 3 or 4's body on our team. Yeah. Bryce Lawson saying Davion, he will be missed. Wait, what? Davion got traded, guys? All right. This is breaking news. Let me see what happened here, guys. Davion got traded. Okay. Davion has been traded to the Miami Heat for PJ Tucker and a 2nd-round pick and cash. I hate this, man. Wow. Josh Lundberg saying it makes sense. The Raptors get a 2nd-rounder for helping Miami shed some salary. Mitchell's a pending a restricted free agent and has fallen out of the rotation with Shed's emergence. Great defender, but wasn't part of the long-term plan. I hate this, man. So crazy, man. Dang it. And this just happened like a half an hour ago. Okay, so Davion has been traded to the Heat for a 2nd-round pick. I guess Shed has done so well that they really do believe in Davion Mitchell. I hate this because he was such a specialist and such a good defensive guard. Yeah, I don't totally like this move, but damn it, this trade deadline needs to come quick and get out of here. Yeah, Raykon saying, damn, good burger gone. I know, I don't like this either. Davion was vibing with us, and I liked him, man. Man, this team is changing a bit here. Smooth saying PJ Tucker, 2nd-round pick and money to Toronto. Now, is PJ Tucker going to come here? No. PJ Tucker is going to sit out just like he's been sitting out to every team he's been around right now. PJ might have played for Miami, honestly, but I don't see him coming here. PJ's got a weird history with the Raptors. He's originally played for the Raptors initially. He got some harsh lessons the first time he played for us, and he became a better pro because of us. But then he came back a 2nd time, and in some ways, he's like, he never really wanted to play in Toronto ever, but he did, and it was good for him. I don't know if he'll respect us coming back. I don't think he's going to play. I think that he's going to get waived, guys. We'll have to see what happens with PJ Tucker. And honestly, why are we getting that contract, man? Andrew's saying, thank you for your service, Davion. I wonder what what year the 2nd-rounder is. That's crazy, man. Stargate saying, Davion just got traded the Heat for PJ Tucker. Raycon saying, ew, Tucker back with the Raptors. Ew. Yeah, I'm with you. Pretty sure PJ will be bought out. Okay. G saying Tucker will be bought out. Assume an Ingram contract is coming. I'm actually bothered by trading Davion, but need to trust this. Yeah, we just got to go with what they're doing. It's a vote of confidence for Jamal Shed, is what it is. And in some ways, they didn't want to make it so crowded. Jamal Shed is the backup point guard, obviously, but this is a defensive downgrade. Obviously, this is a defensive downgrade. I think that Davion's an awesome guy. He's very talkative, like Dennis, and sometimes people rub people the wrong way by talking too much. Let's just put it that way. Shaq Lindsay saying, sad to see Mitchell go, but another great trade by Masai. So you like this trade, Shaq Lindsay? You think this is a good trade? I don't know. It doesn't wow me. I see a very good defensive guard going to Miami Heat. And what are we getting? PJ Tucker for the third time? What? Huh? Shaq saying Mitchell will be a free agent next year. Miami won't extend him. He'll probably be back. That's actually a good point. I could see this. The vibes and things are good here. In some ways, this may be a bookkeeping move. Maybe there's a little wink wink with Davion Mitchell. And all of a sudden, he will be boomeranging back, just like how Shaq Lindsay said. He'll go finish the rest of the season with them. But maybe we're able to invest in him in a better contract when he's a free agent this summer. Who knows? I don't know. He will be a restricted free agent, so Miami can match it. But you don't think Miami will extend him, and they'll just try and do that at a lower cost. Interesting. I like what Shaq Lindsay's saying here, and I hope he's right. Yeah, that's a possibility as well. Mitchell loves Toronto. He does, and he does like being here. Boss Take saying PJ Tucker's a Raptor again. That's so weird, man. He's only a Raptor in name. He'll be traded or bought out. That's right. Don't get attached to PJ. I don't know who's going to get attached to PJ Tucker. Come on now. Shaq Lindsay saying next year will be no problem filling out our roster because we will probably send them down to 905 with the exception of our first round pick. Yeah, you mean the draft picks we're going to get. The second round pick and a first round pick. We'll have room to stash them down there like Shamshay. Kind of like that. Hopefully, yeah. Let's see. All right, let me jump through this. This got crazy. Shaq Lindsay saying our starting lineup, second unit, even our 905 is already set for next year. We probably have one more spot. And Smooth saying, according to Brett Siegel, Raptors aren't done yet. Look at other trades to improve their team. Holy crap. They're going off right now. Okay, well, the last 2 years have been extraordinary activity for movements with the Raptors. This is kind of actually crazy, man. A lot of movement with the Raptors around the trade deadline. 2 years in a row. And this was not the case in most of the Messiah years. Seriously, this is not the case. Crazy. Shaq saying for the rest of the season, let the rookies play and get better. Free Ulrich. Yeah, we don't need to free him. He's freed on 905. He needs to grow in the baby steps in the right order. I will say he's going to get time on the big squad by the end of the year. When the season gets really easy in March, Shamshay's going to probably play a lot and maybe even be the backup center behind Jakob because Pirtle's gone now. We'll have to see what happens with Orlando Robinson, but it could very well be the two ways of Shamshay could be fully more utilized. It will hurt 905's championship chances, but it may be really good for we'll have to see the baby steps of Shamshay and what Masai and Darko are feeling comfortable about where he's at with what he's doing in his rookie year. It could very well be, though, Shamshay plays way more for the Raptors on the way out of the season. I could see this. Shaq saying IQ, RJ, Scotty, and Jakob questionable or day-to-day for the rest of the season. That could be part of it, too. A little bit like last year. Trevor wants me to do the Instagram, the classic card. I'll do that very soon. Stargate saying, can someone text Lex and let him know Davion's no longer on the team? He's way behind. Well, I caught up, and I got there eventually. It's going to be a little bit behind on here. That's always going to be like that, yeah. Yeah, y'all don't need to do that. Y'all don't need to tell me. Was that what that phone call was? If somebody was trying to call me and tell me that Davion got traded? Yeah, I ignored the phone call. So let's see. Davion was solid for us. Well, we'll see if he circles back. I like Shaq Lindsay's idea, and it could very well be true. Smooth saying we'll become financially literate, have a brain, use it, or go broke. We're talking about the players. Well, there's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of predatory people. There's a lot of people that are going to try and ask. They have good intentions. They're family members and friends, and people lose money. It's just how it is. It's like P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every day. I agree with you. And this is why they should have programs that teach the rookies. They do. But they need to teach the alumni too. And they need to teach other people because there's different stages of being an NBA player. And when you retire, a lot changes. You get a pension, but it's not at the same amount. And also, depending on how you saved your money, you may be used to a certain luxury or lifestyle. and it's just not feasible for the long term. So you have to change the way you live to a degree. Yeah. Fiercely saying Trustin Mitchell will come back with us. I hope so. I hope so. And Isaac thinks that more trades will happen. Trading for PJ Davion actually made me mad. Yeah, I'm a little upset about this too. Yeah, Ken A saying Davion gone? Ken A, good to see original Raptor Freak Ken A in the chat this morning. And Isaac saying, I honestly think Scotty may play more guard with the acquisition of Brandon and the fact that we will likely draft another big. Spacing works now. It'll be different. Fingers crossed. I like that, Isaac. I think that that's probably true. I mean, Scotty, we do want, I don't know. Like in some ways, we're very much like we love post Scotty. We love the stuff we're seeing right now. Maybe it'll be a mishmash of all of it. But maybe because it's really good defensively to have him slotted at a guard spot because we're a really big lineup. Maybe. I mean, either way, with RJ at the 2, that's still we're bigger. We're bigger. All right, I'm at 244. We're going to try and get done in the 15 minutes before 3 hours so we can have a reasonable Lexathon today. All right, who did I pull just out of the blue? Wow, there you go. All right, let's see if you guys get this one. This guy, I don't want to give you a clue yet. We'll see if you can get it just off the bat. All right, classic card of the day. First person to write the full name answer gets the classic card points added to their Raptor Freak trivia score. So if you can tell me who this player is, let me know. That'd be awesome. I will say about this player a clue if you guys have trouble. So let's see. That's an obvious team that he plays for on this card. But who is he? Len Bias. No, unfortunately, Len Bias never made it to the league because he died before he made it to the NBA. Dana Barros is not right. This man is taller than Dana Barros. Dana Barros was like a 5'10" player. PJ will not play a game. Yeah, I'm sure about that. No clue. Kenny is saying no clue. All right, I'll give you guys a clue if you get a clue. This guy is currently employed by the Toronto Raptors, the guy on this card. That's a good clue right there. Cornbread. No, that's not Cedric Maxwell. That's not Dennis Johnson. That is not Dennis Johnson. This guy is currently employed by the Toronto Raptors, guys. He's got the card set. Yeah, there it is. Smooth's got it. It's Kevin Gamble. Kevin Gamble's one of our lead scouts on the Toronto Raptors right now. This is another weird picture of him. We've had Kevin Gamble before, but yeah, that's Kevin Gamble of the Celtics at that time. But he's been a longtime scout for the Raptors for a few years now. So he actually works for us now, guys. But yeah, I thought he looked a little bit like Oshai Abaji from far away. But no, he doesn't really look like Oshai. He doesn't really look like him. Maybe from far away. But yeah, that's Kevin Gamble. We'll give it to Smooth as a 200-point card. Yeah, it's a weird sideways card. Like it's sideways on this side. That's kind of weird, eh? Isaac, do you have this card in your set? You probably collected this upper deck. You probably did. You don't even remember that upper deck card? You don't? Oh, okay. All right, so Smooth got it, and we're going to make it a 200-point card. Kevin Gamble, one of the head scouts for the Raptors organization, is the card of the day, guys. So there you go, 200. There you go. We celebrate everybody behind the scenes. Benny Uzo, Kevin Gamble, we celebrate you guys. That's right. That's right. Infamous is here. Salute Freaks. Great trade by the Raps. We now have 4 players in the starting lineup that can drop 20 on any given night. Ingram is KD light. Yeah, I've heard him described like that before. In some ways, he is on the scale of getting close to KD, getting close to Kobe. Not exactly those guys, but he is more like them than most people. He is, for sure. Yeah. I would say that we had this already, though. The capability of dropping 20. Grady was going to get it. So let's not put down Grady. And honestly, earlier in the season, Yaka was getting 20s all the time, too. Seriously, man. Seriously. You remember Kevin Gamble with the bald head? Yeah, he's had his head shaved for a while. He's got a little bit of hair there. This is young Kevin Gamble on the Celtics. Yeah, he played for a couple different teams. He played for the Magic also for a little while. Yeah, let's see. Stargate saying Bruce Kelly and Davion all gone. Yeah, this Davion one shocks me. This breaking news that we just got just now. I really do hope that Shaq Lindsey's exactly right, that this is going to be a power play of getting him back, boomeranging back in next season on a lower contract, and that it'll work. I hope that's what happens. This does happen with players sometimes where they will get traded and then they'll come right back when they're a free agent and signed right back. Yeah. UC saying, I don't know if Ingram is actually comparable to KD, but he's definitely a near complete offensive player. It's not that he's like exactly him. I'm just saying if there's a sliding scale, Brandon Ingram's closer to KD than pretty much 95% of everybody else. Is that a fair thing to say, UC? I'm not saying he's exactly KD. We could even say he's KD on Wish or something like that. Like, as far as like, there is some KD in him as far as the kind of way he scores. It's not on the same level. It's just that on the sliding scale, if you're going to pick like players in the league that are anywhere near Kevin Durant, Ingram might be in that top 5 of being the closest to him, is what I'm saying. As far as his player type and the way he scores offensively is very overpowering like Kevin. It can be like that on a certain level. It's not exactly Kevin Durant, Hall of Famer, though. Yeah, you're exactly right on that. Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to get finished up now, man. What a long stream, a crazy stream. The flag fell off the wall. That for the Oklahoma City game. There's also a Raptors 905 game earlier. So we're going to have 2 games in a row tomorrow. My 3 stars of the game in the loss, the Grizzlies yesterday, Ochai Agbaji, Davion Mitchell, and Jonathan Mobo. The Raptors got beat bad on all the team stats last night. The first half was okay. The second half was awful. We got shot really bad for the game, under 40% from field goal. They shot 53%. We shot 29% from 3. They shot 42% from 3. We did shoot really well at the free throw line, which I like to see, considering that we played such a young contingent of players last night. And they're taking care of the free throw line was really good. The refs did give a lot of more free throws to the Grizzlies. In fact, we didn't get our first free throw until like a couple minutes before halftime, and Scotty got the first free throw for the Raptors. It was insane in some ways. The refs were, it's not that they were wrong. It's just that the Grizzlies were more aggressive and they were getting more calls. The rebounds were really bad. 61 rebounds for the Grizz, only 34 for the Raptors last night, including 24 offensive rebounds. And that was Zach Edey and some of the other stuff that was going on there. It was really, really bad. The assists were there for the Raptors, though. 28 assists was nice, and they didn't turn the ball over that bad either. So in a lot of ways, the Raptors played a very good game, even though they got blown out. They had 28 assists with only 10 turnovers as a team, and I like that. 11 steals for the Raptors also. That was very effective. And then, yeah, we got killed on the points in the paint, 60-46. Absolutely dreadful. Lots of trades in the last day or so. Jordi Fernandez stepping down as the coach of Canada. Man, so much going on. It's crazy. Happy birthdays to a whole list of former Raptors today. Original Raptor from the first year of our 30 years in existence as a franchise, Carlos Rogers. Happy birthday to you, sir. He is, as of today, 54. 54th birthday of Carlos Rogers today. Chris Humphries, the former Mr. Kim Kardashian, has his birthday today. Former Raptor Chris Humphries is turning 40 today. Happy 40th birthday to Chris Humphries, Mr. Kim Kardashian. And Antoine Wright, former defensive swingman for the Raptors, is also having his birthday today. He is turning 41 today. So happy 41st birthday to Antoine Wright, defensive specialist. And also, former college player, was a bit player for the Raptors for a little while, Sean Respert. Happy birthday to him also. He is 53 today. So birthdays around the Raptors, 4 of them: Carlos Rogers, Chris Humphries, Antoine Wright, and Sean Respert, all former Raptors with their birthdays today. So, yeah, we had a birthday list right there. Crazy birthday list. Crazy. But that's how it goes. Y'all check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club show and get your fantasy team set up in the Raptor Freak Fantasy League. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Infamous is saying KD was his player profile when he was drafted. He looks like Kobe with some of his mechanics. UC saying interesting, Infamous. Isaac saying, imagine if we trade Brandon again. Well, we got till 3. I think there may be trade things, although Dennis is getting flipped around all over the place like crazy. Like, you can't trade after this amount of time after this trade. That's all out the window with Dennis Schroeder. He's just going every which way like the wind. Infamous saying he is very clutch, which no one talks about. That's the other thing. He carries. He can carry offensively in stagnation parts against high-level defenses, and he can carry in situations to bring us back in the game and help us. So, that is going to be very helpful for sure. Stargate saying healthy Ingram is comparable to Jason Tatum offensively. Some may argue even better. I will argue he's better. Oh, easily. I hate Tatum. Why would I say that? Just as Trey saying Davion, who helped break Trey's league-leading assist record, step down on defense. I got to reserve my judgment till later because this probably is the dumbest looking trade I've seen in the last few years. And I'm glad to see Chris is still with us. Well, that clock has not run out yet. So let's not breathe a sigh of relief until around 4 p.m. today. Seriously, because there could still be stuff going, and there are murmurs that we're not done yet. Tristan doesn't like this deal. He thinks that this deal of dealing Davion is dumb, but Shaq Lindsay sees that there may be a future of him coming back, and this is a cost-cutting move in some weird boomerang kind of way. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Trusting Bobby and Masai, and let's just see what they do. I like Mitchell a lot too, and I don't like him not being on our team now, and he's going to be on the Miami Heat. Yikes. We still got to play them a couple times. Yikes. Yikes. Isaac's saying we're investing in two-way players. Could be freeing up a roster spot. Yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody watching me today on the Rapid Freak stream. Reaction to the Grizzlies game last night, 90s night. The last night that Kelly Olynyk played in Raptors jersey before he got traded to New Orleans Pelicans. I'm sad. I appreciate you, Kelly, so much, man. And I'm glad you got to live that childhood dream. And you'll always be a cherished Raptors alumni in my book. Bruce Brown, same thing, man. You were ultimate pro. As long as you don't bad talk us in any kind of way on the back end, I'll be cool with you. Thank you, Jordy Fernandez, for your service as the head coach of the Team Canada. And we look forward to seeing who gets hired next in the next chapter of Team Canada senior men's basketball. And, well, Davion Mitchell, wow. You just got traded in the last hour. I feel bad about this. I love you, man. You will be a valued and loved Raptor also. Dennis Schroeder only was a Raptor for half a year, just like you, man. And in some ways, if you never play for us again, you'll be a legend for us, the real ones, the Raptor freaks, because we understood what you did while you're here and how cool you were and how fun you were to be on our team. That's right. That's right. Yeah, let's see. Davion got a second-round pick back. Yeah, Masai did exactly what he said he would at the beginning of the season. There you go. There you go. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, I'll preview the Oklahoma City Thunder game at Oklahoma City. And also, Raptors 905 will be playing Osceola Magic tomorrow. So I'll be previewing both those games for you guys, get you set up for an evening of basketball on Friday night. All right, let's go Raptors. And you just got Monique and myself on blast. It's just me, Monique. It's just Mo, myself, and Masai. It's just Mo, myself, and Masai. Trust in Masai. Brandon Ingram.